Being a wife has to be in you, not on you. Being a wife must be something that is a part of you, not just something you want to do to check off your list. Being a wife is something that is a part of your womanly fulfillment, not just something to flex. Being a wife is not a performance. That's why so many women are frustrated and giving up on marriage these days, because a lot of it has to do with their failed relationships and frustration. But a lot of it has to do with trying to be everything to every man every time, and the performing is wearing them out because it's failing. You can always tell a woman that is tired of performing because she's somewhere trying to be seen and heard, screaming from the rooftops about how horrible and broke men are, or calling other women pick me's and male identified, or shaming other women who haven't given up yet. It's tired of, well, she's tired of performing, trying to get a man, or keep a man, or be chosen by a man, or screaming from the rooftops about how horrible marriage is. The acting failed. Nobody is going to that movie anymore. If they've seen that show time and time again, they know every scene by scene, line by line. No stars, just washed up actresses complaining about their pay and lack of new roles. Performing isn't getting them what they want. They've been betrayed by the culture, telling them they don't have to change. Just perform and men will do what you want. They think being a wife is something you perform. It's not. Being a wife is a mindset. There are two sets that people have: skill sets and mindsets. Being a wife requires certain skills to be at a certain level: wash, clean, take care of children, right? Critical thinking skills, being able to add 2 plus 2 so when you go to the store, you understand how much money you have to buy the groceries. Little things like that. That needs to be at a operational level so that you can maintain your home, your relationship, and do your role the best, right? But the mindset is what actually makes your wife. When God sees that you're not performing and you have a mindset of a wife, your husband is not far from you. It's just a matter of time before he steps into your life. I'm going to say something that I have avoided saying publicly for years, maybe the entire time I've been posting and doing lives and courses and one-on-ones. I've avoided saying this publicly, but I have to say it now because the culture has devolved to this point, so I just have to say it. And I've been advising women, and here's what I've learned and what I should have been saying publicly from the beginning. If you're unwilling to be honest with yourself about what it is you want, if you're unwilling to be socially ostracized, if you're unwilling to be set apart from the culture, you're literally unwilling to be a wife. I avoided saying that because I knew what it would cost. I knew some women would close the tab. I knew it would make people uncomfortable. And I spent years trying to figure out how to say the hard thing in a soft way that nobody would feel pushed away. And when I talked about the vast number of women that would never get married, it was alarming, but it's true. They have refused to do these 3 things that we're going to talk about today. And here's what I finally understood. The women I cannot help are the ones I never told the truth to, that truth to. And the women I have helped and watched actually get to the altar, the ones who built the marriages they prayed for, every single one of them had to pass through these 3 things first. Every last one of them, including yours truly. So today I'm saying it plainly, and I'm not going to soften. For those of you who don't know me, I am Nicole Michelle. Hi. If I didn't scare you away, hello. Founder of the Inner Beauty Movement. I have been advising women on wife preparation and marriage strategy officially since 2017, and I have proven track record of helping women get into loving marriages. In this live stream, we are going to talk about the three willingnesses, the three things you have to be willing to do before you desire to be a wife. Before you even say, I want to prepare to be a wife, I want to think about it. For a lot of women, this live stream is going to be liberating because you're going to go, you know what, marriage isn't for me, I'm cool. And for a lot of women, they're like, I'm willing to do that, let's go. But this is going to really clear that path before you desire to be a wife, and before that can actually become your reality. Real quick, if you're new here, subscribe and follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Nicole Michelle. I promise you I won't scare you. If someone needs to hear this today, tag her, drop it in the comments when you're watching, where you're watching from. I just want to know where everybody is. Welcome, everybody. I just want to say hello. We're going to get into it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. We're going to get started. All right, so let's get started. Shout out to my brother Phineas Henshaw. Thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. Catch you on the replay tax for the tip jar. Add a plant. Good afternoon. All right, brother is working. Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody in the building. I see. He's in Alabama. Shout out to Alabama. Shout out to the Shy. Shout out to everybody joining me on the live. Listen, we're closing out this live stream season. You know, I take my breaks in the summer. So, you know, I got to take it right to the head today. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to walk you through each one of these willingnesses, what it is, why most women avoid it, and what it cost her when she does. Because becoming a wife in today's culture is going to cost you something. It's just flat out. The culture has devolved so much that becoming a wife literally costs you something. It just cost you. So we're going to talk about it and what it cost her when she does, because the desire to be a wife is not the problem. It's really not. Most of the women watching this right now genuinely want to be married. The question is whether the desire has been matched with the willingness. And those are two different things. Let me explain. Disclaimer before we get started, it's not lost on me the amount of negative press marriage gets now from the culture. You have men screaming negatively about marriage and ridiculing men who desire a wife and family. You have women who are screaming from mountaintops that marriage is a bad deal for women. And I'd be lying to you if I said that each side doesn't have their valid points. But here's where I need you to hear me with your hearts. This is no shade towards anyone, right? But we must call a spade a spade. When people are running down how awful marriage is and gender warring, they are never giving you balance. Never. Never. I haven't seen one who has taken one side that gives you balance. It's never balance. They want you to abandon your hopes and dreams and become cynical like them. They want you to take on their hurt and dismay like it's yours. They want you to bond with them through their disappointments, their pain, their failed relationships. And if you don't, you're romanticizing marriage, or you have this Mickey Mouse view of marriage. So they kind of shame you into not being cynical like them. And if you refuse to do that, you're ridiculed and you're shamed for what you want. They accuse you of idolizing marriage, wifehood, and motherhood just because you haven't become bitter and you're actually open to the life you want. You aren't romanticizing marriage. There's no possible way that you can romanticize marriage nowadays. How can you do that? Who's romanticizing marriage? Can you successfully do that? Please point me to the channel, the show, the movie, anything now that's made post 1975 that romanticizes marriage and you actually believe that. Like seriously, the last 50 years, please tell me. Please, no one anywhere in the world can romanticize marriage anymore. The wicked culture has made sure of that. All we can do is prepare for a godly marriage, not one created with the rules of the streets and dysfunctional games and ideologies of the culture. That's all we can do. And that's not naivete, that is wisdom. A lot of women have lost their attraction and magnetism because they've become bitter and cynical. They unfortunately will be the roughly 75% that you see on the screen. The bottom, we call them the bottom 60 over here, but I would say that that number is rising because it's more and more women saying that they don't want to be married. Roughly 75% of women who will never get married. And it's not my will for them. It's actually become their choice. Take a look at the graph here. The bottom 60, the never marrieds, and that number there is varied because no, not the numbers vary, but the reasons vary. The reasons vary that they're in the 75%. This is not what I want. This is, a lot of women are voluntarily being there, and then a lot of women, if they don't do these three things that we're going to talk about today, they will be at the bottom 60. This is not a if and or but. Now, am I talking to them? No, I'm talking to you that are in the 30% and the 10%. I'm talking to you. And the reason I'm saying that is because if you don't do these three things, the men that you would want to be your husbands will assume that you're in the 60. Ugh, yikes. Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. So romanticizing relationships and courtship, mischaracterizing the courtship phase as the man forever chasing the woman who is unsure, and he pushes past her hesitance and convinces her to give him a chance. Give me a chance, baby. Yeah, you didn't return my text messages, and yeah, you kind of act standoffish, but I know you like me, so I'm going to keep calling you, and I'm going to keep texting you. I'm going to keep asking you out. Just give me a chance. That is the material the culture put in movies, especially the Hallmark Channel. Shout out to them. I love those movies. To allow women to complain about men and throw tantrums about failed relationships and making it all men's fault without them having to elevate their lives at all. The culture played a cruel trick on women. These days, we have to recognize that those days of men jumping through hoops for women that don't like them are over. Let me say it again so it sinks in. Let me say it again so it can breathe. And I know people are going to be upset, but hear me out. Just hang in there. The culture played a cruel trick on women. Those days of men jumping through hoops for women that don't like them are over. That don't like them are over. And yes, you will have women in the culture tell you that if you're her, he'll jump through hoops for you if you're her. And that's true in two instances: when he's trying to bed you, or when he's discovered you both like each other and he actually wants you. But that's even nuanced because he's not chasing a woman who doesn't like him back. Men are not fools for unrequited love. That's Hollywood, again, playing a cruel trick on women and leaving many women in the 75% of women who will never experience a man forsake all others just for her. So the all men cheat. I'm hitting all the things on the head before we even get started. The all men cheat mantra is getting tired too. And personally, I'm sick of hearing that. The same women who scream this have experience with cheating men, except they don't tell you that part. They've somehow been the side woman, or they've had some married man hit on them. Some kind of way they're involved in the cheating process. They just don't tell you that. The culture rewards cheating men and then allow women to categorize all men as cheaters, as if a large amount of women are not equal or willing participants in the cheating process. Men who have no morals and bad judgment are not what women who want to be wives concentrate on. Let me say that again, just so we're clear, because I'm giving you a whole lot right now if you're paying attention. Men who have no morals and bad judgments are not what women who want to be wives concentrate on. So if you hear women harping on cheating, we've already had this conversation. So if that's you and you want to be a wife, I just gave it to you. Just stop. Stop. Just stop. One more thing before we move on. You are not defective or unworthy of love. So let me give you a virtual hug, right? We started out hot and heavy, but it's only going to get hotter. It's only going to get hotter. But just like everyone out here, we must present our best selves of who we want, best selves of who we want to become better women for ourselves. And if we expect to become someone's wife, the more hardworking he is, the more sacrifices he's made to become the man you see and desire, the more he will expect his woman to understand who she is and what she wants and how to execute to get and keep what she wants. In other words, you have to understand the assignment, because he didn't work that hard to get a woman that doesn't understand her assignment. Okay, so now let's get into the three things most women of marrying age need to do before they even think about marriage. I had to do it. Every woman you know who's married to a man that loves her and cherishes her had to do it. Not the transactional marriages of women bragging about how much money her husband spends on her. Not those transactional marriages. I'm talking about marriages where people actually love each other. It's something the 75% of women who will never get married, they're going to listen to this and they're going to say, that's never me. That's okay. That's cool. Fine. I'm talking to the women that say, I want to become a wife. But the bottom 75%, those women will never do this. All right. And you have to be aware of this, because if you do one of these things and ignore the other two, or you do two and you ignore one, or you don't do any of them, you will look like the bottom 75% to men that step up to you. If you finish this entire video and you decide you can't do these things either, you will have a guaranteed seat on the front row of singleness. And I'm not trying to be cold here. I'm being direct, and directness is what you need in this day and time. Not more sugarcoating and confirmation that you're perfect and everything else in the world is wrong. We've spent years on material helping you become well-rounded, healed women for yourself on this channel, right? We focus on self-love, mother and father wounds, disappointments, trauma, anger, divorce, bouncing back after single motherhood, dysfunctional families, terrible jobs, balancing work and home. The list goes on and on and on. It's overdue time to address the women who have done the emotional healing and the behind the scenes work and are now ready to prepare to be a wife. And you may be wondering, I've done all that, Nicole, it's time, and and it's still not happening for me. That's what this live stream is here to address. 3 things the culture leaves out that will determine marriage is even worth the work for you. If you listen to this and you decide you can't do all of these, not 1, not 2, but all 3, then you can go ahead and stop wasting your time talking about marriage and husbands and babies, men cheat, men's salaries, being a wife, a wedding, anything else associated with marriage. Just hang it up, forget it. Marriage to a wholesome, godly man. I want a man that loves God. Hang it up. Just that simple. Stop wasting your time. Go do what it is you do best. Enjoy the streets. Enjoy the single life. Enjoy traveling, your girls trips, solo traveling, whatever it is, enjoy it, because marriage is off the table. Marriage isn't for you in this lifetime. I love you though. So open your heart. Let's go. There are 3 willingness things we all have to do before we can start our journey of preparing to be a wife. These don't mean tomorrow you're wife material, but it sure does mean your journey to becoming a wife has begun and you aren't wasting your time. Now, a man could meet you tomorrow and see you as a wife, even if your life isn't perfect, even if you haven't worked out the cooking and the cleaning and your past is kind of sketchy, and it's you know what, he could still see you as potential wife material. You know what? Because without these 3 things, forget about it. You're wasting your time. If you do these 3 things, there's potential. He sees, okay, or she's trying. It's something he can say, oh, yeah. And and these things you can't perform. I'm going to show you why you can't. I believe there are sets that women have that are necessary to become a wife. There's skill sets and mindsets. In my professional assessment, okay, having worked with professional women for years and helped women get married, the main set holding women back is not their cooking skills. It's not their communication skills, as though that is a very important soft skill, communication, not knocking that. I think everybody can benefit from having some type of instruction or mentoring or advisement or communication with the opposite sex. So that's important, but that's not holding them back though. What's holding them back is what we're going to talk about today. And this is why I blame the culture so much for this confusion. This is why women are so confused. And I really, really, really blame the culture. The first willingness is the one most women think they already have. And this is probably going to be the easiest one. So I'm going to get the easiest one out of the way. They will tell you they know what they want. They have a list. They have prayed about it. They've journaled about it. But knowing what you want on paper is different from being honest about what you want in your actual life. And those two things are not always the same. So the first thing you must do, the willingness to be honest with yourself about what you want. Oh, Miss Nicole, that's easy. Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Hold that thought. Here's what I mean. There are women who say they want a husband, but have organized their entire life around never being dependent on one. There are women who say they want a family, but have not made a single adjustment to their schedule, their finances, their mindset, or their home to reflect that they want to be a wife. There are women who say they want a covenant marriage, but are spending their relational energy on men who have told them through their behavior, if not their own words, that they are not interested in that. That is not honesty. That's just a wish, honey. And a wish without honesty attached to it is not going to get you to the altar. I will tell you something about myself. I spent a period of time knowing what I wanted, but not being honest about what I was tolerating. I was just on the phone with my best friend yesterday, and we were giggling. Same thing. And we were going back over our failed relationships and funny things that happened. And she was like, girl, you remember him? And I was like, oh, let me think. Oh, yeah. Ooh, glad I forgot him. We were just going down memory lane of how far we've come from the stupidness to wisdom, right? And I spent a lot of time trying to tolerate stuff instead of just being honest with myself. Knowing the standard but not applying it is what I did. I'd say, oh, I have standards. I would never date this. I would never do that. I would never do that. And a lot of times going down memory lane, it was presented to me that, yeah, I kind of was dealing with people that I should have been dealing with. But I said I had standards, though. Saying one thing and accepting another. I would never accept this from a man. And then what was I doing? And what I learned is that your behavior is actually the real answer. Not your prayer journal, not what you tell your friends. What you're actually doing with your time, your emotions, and your energy, that is what you really want right now. And if it doesn't line up with what you say you want, the first work is getting honest about that gap. When a woman is not honest with herself about what she wants, she ends up in one of these two places. She either stays in situations that are not moving toward marriage because she's not willing to say out loud that she wants more, or she becomes so guarded about what she wants that she would not let a serious man close enough to give it to her. Both of these are the same root problem: dishonesty with herself. So those of you that do Bible study, I'm going to give you a scripture that might help you this week. Hold on. My mouse wants to act crazy. The Bible gives us a promise. John 15:7. If ye abide in me and my words abide in you. I love this scripture. Love, love, love. Ye shall ask what you will and it'll be done to you. That's a promise. That's a promise. If you abide in me, let me be in you. Let me become you. You become me. Let me live within you. Just ask what you want. Now I'll give it to you. That's a direct promise from the Lord. Galatians 6:9. Don't get weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Don't get tired of being a good girl. Don't get tired of doing good things. I always laugh at wicked women who mock good women, because I always have to go back and be reminded of God's word. Galatians 6:9. Galatians 6:9. Every time somebody says something evil and mean about good women, I always have to Galatians 6:9. Galatians 6:9. Galatians 6. Do not get weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap. That's a promise. If we faint not. That's the caveat. Don't give up. You can't give up and then still expect good things to happen based on your good work. That's not how that works. Don't get tired of doing what is right, even when the results are not showing up yet. Don't give up on your YouTube channel. Don't give up on the book. Don't give up on the business. We understand that. Don't give up on your goals. You want to be the top actress. You want to be the best singer. You want to be the best teacher. You want to get the awards. We understand don't give up then. But when it comes to something that matters of the heart, when it comes to trusting God in something that we can't see moving behind the scenes, we're like, what good is it to be a good woman? Because they all cheat. They all do bad by women. We want to give up, but we still expect subconsciously that those good things come to us as if we just didn't give up. No, you gave up. You gave up. Those good things don't come to you if you give up. Stand on your square. Why do you think I'm always posting encouraging things to you all? Because I've been there. I've been the girl crying at home on a Friday night in a major city, baby. Atlanta's always popping. There was plenty of places I could have gone. But once I got serious, I'm like, no, I'm going to get married. And I'm so tired because I'm doing everything I know to do and it's not happening. And I said, wait, before I get mad at God, before I get mad at men, let me just calm down. And I spent some times on Friday nights at home reading. Trying to find something to do on the phone with my girlfriends, or maybe it would just be me and her going out, or maybe it would just be me at home spending some alone time. But I stood on my square. I was not going to let the culture get the best of my future. It's my future. You're not going to rob me, right? You're not going to rob me of something that I know I want, when I know God promised it to me. If I just hold the line, Galatians 6:9, if I just hold the line, he promised it to me. Getting honest is the first door, but there's a second one that is harder. I told you it's going to get harder today. I told you I'm snatching edges and wigs. I'm not making friends today. We're closing the season out. All right. So I'm not making friends today. That's what it is. Because once you're honest, the culture is going to have something to say about it. So let me ask you a question. Be real with yourself right now. You can type in the chat. It's all good. This chat is going to go away after the live, so whatever you say is good. Drop yes or no in the chat. Do your actions and relationships actually match what you say you want? We won't beat you up if they don't. It's okay. I've already said mine didn't. I was honest. I was out here playing Bobo the Fool sometimes too. It happens to the best of us. Look, hey, it happened. All right? It's okay. We're not judging you. The second one is getting a little bit harder. This one's tough. This one is going to break a lot of people's back right here. And I'm not making friends. When I go through this one, a lot of people are going to tune out because it's just going to be too hard. I'm telling you. I love you. I'm giving you a virtual hug. I'm praying that those of you that are serious about being a wife, you don't click off from here right now. Because if you can manage this and you can make it and do this, being a wife is just a matter of time for you. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I do content that piss people off. That's just what I do, but I'm going to tell the truth. Willingness to be socially ostracized. The second willingness is the one I've watched stop more women than almost anything else. And it is this: the willingness to be socially ostracized for wanting what you want. I'm not talking about strangers on the internet. I'm not talking about the people in your actual life, your friends, your coworkers, the group chat, although they're part of the process. Here's the scripture I want to add for this part, because you're going to need some spiritual reinforcement. Those of you that are in Bible study this week, go over this one. Meditating on God's word. I'll give you Romans 12, 1 through 2, because I'm getting you ready, because we're going down that rabbit hole, and I'm telling you, some of y'all gonna get mad at me. One of our pillar scriptures: I beseech you, brethren, I beg of you, my sisters, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is a reasonable, logikos, which is the Greek word for logical service. Be not conformed to this world, to this culture, to this wicked society, using your body for promiscuity, drugs, alcohol, overeating. You know I love my Doritos. You know I okay. Overeating, not managing stress, etc. Not managing stress is mistreating your body, by the way. We just think overeating, drugs, all of that. No, no. Promiscuity is harming your body. Mismanaging stress, not managing your hormones. It's not treating your body nice. When you love God for real, you naturally hand over your body to Him, to the Father. Y'all ready? Grab your wigs. We're living in a cultural moment. We're wanting to be a wife, wanting it as a real priority, not a someday, a maybe, is treated as embarrassing and desperate. You are somehow letting down the sisterhood of single women who are programmed to make men the enemy. They will say they like and love men, but I'm going to tell you, it's from a place of getting men to pay or get them back for something that happened to them. It's not genuine. The vitriol from men eventually comes out the longer you listen to some of these women. And I'm not talking about just social media, baby. I'm talking about in real life, honey. This could be people in your family, people you work with, the water cooler conversations. They will twist the Bible, academia, and your trauma, and anything else they can gently suggest this world would be better and your life would be better if we just didn't have any men around. See, that's always the undercurrent. Men is always the undercurrent. They're the problem. They're the problem. I always listen to that. I always tap into that and recognize that somehow your problems in life are due to men, honey. So how dare you have the desire to be married? It's like you're betraying womanhood. It's like we're a planet within a planet, a society, or within a society. Women, we're our own species. How dare you betray the species because you want a man? I'm biologically wired to desire a man, but somehow I've been made demonized because I want a man. Somehow your problems in life are due to men. So how dare you have a desire to be married? It used to be just ostracizing you for marriage. Now they're starting to shame women for wanting to be mothers now. That's why they're screaming, go ahead and unalive that baby. As soon as you find out, unalive it. Get your freedom back. It's your body. It's your body. When the Bible clearly says present your bodies, a living sacrifice to God, they tell you to sacrifice that baby on the altar of Baal, but we're going to keep that. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Going to keep going. So I get triggered. Women are terrorized by the same women that they claim they want freedom for. No wonder women are afraid to walk into their wife era. They don't want to be the oddball out, being positive about their future. This is the real reason why when public figures and social media influencers talk against marriage and family, but then later you see them announcing their engagement, folks get all bent out of shape. A lot of it is their own self-defense mechanisms and fear that marriage won't happen for them. Or sometimes it's just a hustle to make money on lowly and angry women. And more often than not, those marriages are transactional anyway, meaning she found a man she could trick into marriage. Simple as that. But the audience feels betrayed because they've been sitting there listening to her and believing all of this male hatred stuff. And she hasn't done anything to suggest that she is a wife. She still has the same wicked and distorted view of men, but somehow this particular man fell into her honey trap. A lot of women are searching for the man that can fall in the honey trap. I remember discussing another Christian YouTuber, you all remember from last summer, who did the video on how she was asking God, when would it be her time to get married? You can put her name in the chat if you all remember. She recently got engaged and the internet went crazy. She literally popped up married. Literally. She's the one that inspired my new program. She literally popped up married, which ironically, engaged married, which ironically is the name of our new system that prepares women to get ready for the process of stepping back and get ready to be found as a wife and then popping back up as engaged or married. She literally did that. But she did that. I remember saying that she seemed like a wife then. I called it. And I was right. And I can tell when a woman is ready. I can also tell when a woman is not. Yes, that's her. Yep. Yep. Look, wanting to be chosen, wanting to build a home, wanting your femininity to lead rather than your these things will make a lot of people uncomfortable. Did you understand what I said? Put a one in the chat. Please understand this. Wanting to build a home, wanting to be a wife, wanting your femininity to lead rather than your ambition, these things will make a lot of people uncomfortable because some of them will say something. Some of them, they're just going to be quiet. They're just going to observe in the corner just to see if you're serious. And some of them will slowly stop inviting you into spaces where your values no longer fit the conversation. They'll just stop inviting you. Do you know how many people say that I'm their friend, but they won't invite me to places? Do you know how many people have said, "Oh, Nicole, you like my sister. Oh, Nicole, I love you," but they won't invite me? I used to take that personal till I started talking to God about it. Yeah. Before Chat GPT, there was God. Just a reminder. And I used to take that to heart. Like, why is it when I have something, everybody wants to be on the invitation list, but when they have something, I'm not on the invitation list? Why is that? I started to take that personal. Ladies, you're going to start to see that happen to you too. You're going to start to see where people start to gradually, slowly pull away from you, or just coldly just stop calling, stop texting, stop asking you out. It's going to happen. As soon as you start elevating, as soon as you start really implementing the things that we talk about on this channel, see, a lot of it is camouflage because you run in professional circles. And so the glue there is the professional circles, the professional networks, or the organizations that you two belong to. But girl, when you start talking about the Lord, you start talking about wanting to be a wife and wanting to have a family and looking at things balanced. Oh no. You can't come. You can't come to the cookout. You can't come to the, it's just us. Or they kind of slip and slide and do things behind your back, and then you found out about it later. If they don't character assassinate you, I've had that too. All of it is all the same thing. I used to take this stuff personal. I don't anymore. Character assassinations is a trick of the enemy to get you off your square. Just know that. They have gone out of their way to insult the whole idea of being a good girl. I laugh at this stuff and I always scream Galatians 6 and 9. I always beat those negative thoughts right out. I don't even take that to the head anymore. I'm like, Galatians 6 and 9. I will not get off my square. I'm not going to faint. I'm not going to do it. But they will insult the whole idea of being a good woman or a good girl. I like to say that, which is just being a Proverbs 31 woman. That's all it is. That's all being a good girl is. Not a nice girl, not a pushover. That's not what we're talking about. Just being a good woman. It's just a Proverbs 31 woman. And that's what they'll just mock that. They'll just mock that whole premise. And they know there's a difference between being a good girl and a nice girl. They know. They know exactly what they're talking. They know exactly they're taking shots at you and I. They're doing it purposely. They know exactly what they're doing. Their father, the father of lies, is telling them to attack you because they want you off the square. They want you. Misery loves company. They need all of us on the same. How dare you get out there and actually look at relationships in a balanced way? How dare you get out there and not blame men for every single thing? You're supposed to be part of this sisterhood. How dare you do that? How dare you be different? How dare you read the Bible and actually try to implement it? Oh, yes. Being a good girl is nothing but Proverbs 31. Go study that. Just make that a part of your spirit. They know there's a difference between a good girl and a nice girl. They know this. They expect you not to know. And if you don't know, you be like, yeah, Nicole, she over there telling us to be nice girls, to be pushovers. Oh, no. That's what they want you to think. We know that being a good girl is being a Proverbs 31 woman. That's just a modernized way of saying a Proverbs 31 woman. They hope you don't know the scripture. They hope you are insecure. They hope you are afraid to stand your square. Because as long as you stand your square, you make everything else look bad. Because you're the rose in a room full of thorns. See? And They will ostracize any woman trying to be her best self. And as much as women claim to decenter men, when a woman shows up moving and sounding different, you know what? They assume it's for a man. They assume you're trying to show out and upstage them for a man. Now, I thought we were decentering men. All I wanted to do was dress a little bit different, speak a little bit. I just wanted to elevate my life. Who said I was doing it for a man? No, you said I was doing it for a man. How about I'm doing it for me? How about when I look in the mirror, I like what I see? How about I like the fact that when I walk into a room, everybody adjusts because I've just elevated the space just by walking in it. I like that. That never happened to me. And now that I know that I have the power to do that, I like that. But they start ostracizing you for it because now you're elevating. They don't like that. They don't like that. You're getting a little bit uppity. How dare you start elevating like that? We don't like that. Good girls are just good with or without a man. Memorize this, write it down, put it on a sticky note. If you're at work, grab a sticky note and put it on your computer right now. Good girls are just good. They're just good with or without a man. You don't need a man to be a good girl. Because if you need a man to be a good girl, baby, you performing. So you're not really one. A good girl, that's who she is. Whether she has a husband, a man, it's 100-mile radius. It doesn't matter. That's who she is at her core. Men marry them for that reason. That's a benefit of being good. That's it. That doesn't make her better. That's just who she is at her core. So get ready to lose friends and be called names in your face and behind your back. People that you thought were cool. People that you thought loved you. Do you know how many times I've had my heart broken just since 2017 because of the things that I say? Because I stand on my square. Do you know how many people smiled in my face and stabbed me in the back? I mean, stabbed and stab. I mean, woo! Character assassination, you name it, it's been done. And it will happen to you. I'm telling you, it will. Get ready for it. If you're not ready for it, this and the reason I'm saying this is because the culture has devolved so much. Remember when being married was just something that you do? You were a girl. You grew up. You learned how to take care of a house. You went to college. You went to high school. You went to college. And then you got married. And that was acceptable. Everybody knew that eventually you were going to get married, right? That used to be society. That's no longer society. What society is right now is women do whatever they want to do. And that could be whatever. Whatever. There's no guarantee. It used to be a guarantee. You were going to marry somebody from the neighborhood or marry somebody from your organization or marry somebody from your boarding school, your high school, your college. Somewhere in there, your husband is. And nowadays, we just don't train our girls to even look. We like, well, why she needs to become who she is. Forget about being a wife. Yeah, becoming who you were was supposed to happen when you were growing up. Duh. You're 35 years old still trying to discover who you are. I'm not trying to beat you up. I'm just saying don't beat up on people who are following the formula. Now, if that's you, do what you got to do because everybody's on a different journey. Everybody has, but I'm telling you, the society rigged it to where your family feels guilty raising its girls to be wives. They make mothers feel guilty by telling their women or their girls, look, you're going to be somebody's mother someday, somebody's wife someday. Learn how to sew a button on a shirt. Learn how to cook. If the microwave is off and the stove, what do you know how to make? Do you need a TikTok video tutorial to get a meal on the stove? What can you do for your children? How can you make something out of nothing? What can you do if something happens? How can you dial it back? In times of adversity, how can you make it through? Or you just gonna just scream and holler because things don't go your way? How can you adjust and make things happen? That's what wives do. How do you support your husband emotionally? We have trained our girls that supporting a man emotionally that's dull. No. But then we switch and say support him financially. And then now when we reach a certain age, we're tired of supporting men. We're like, having a man means supporting him no, it doesn't. That's just how the culture has trained mothers to train their daughters. You don't grow up to be a support and a helpmeet. You grow up to be his partner. And now we're mad at men because we taught our daughters to be partners. You taught her not to go in as a wife. You taught her to go in as his equal, a partner. And partners share the brunt. That's the part the feminist movement left out. Just that little fine print. If you go in as a partner, oh baby, partners share. There's equality. No, I don't want to be equal. I want to be treated better. So I go in as a wife. I go in as a support system. I go in supporting. I'm supporting actress here. Okay? I'm not trying to be bad. That's you, honey. I got you, baby. Yes. What you need? How can I support you to get that new promotion? What can I do, honey? Let me make this fit. Let me make this house a home so when you can come home, you can relax. Let me do that. How can I do that? No, we don't train our daughters to do that because that's demeaning. What we do is we train them, get out there and work. And then we get upset when men are like, okay, you going to work. Okay, cool. Wait, you want to be at home, Dale? And we're mad at men because they're scratching their heads like, wait, I thought you wanted to work. Wait, you want me? So if I don't pay all the, I'm a loser? I'm broke? Like, men are like, you know what? we have gaslit families into not training the daughters to be wives, and then we wonder why the women are confused. They go off to university when they could really be catching a husband. We've trained them not to look at men in college like future husbands. I'm not talking about the guys guzzling beer at the party, at the frat party house. I'm not talking about that. Now they have phrases and they have phases and they end up being husbands too. That's not the point. The point is eventually at the university, college, whatever, those higher spaces of higher learning, a lot of people will meet their future investors for their businesses because they'll be colleagues, the people they know. They'll meet their future husbands and so forth and so on. These are things we talk about on the Feminine Elite Society app, by the way. But we haven't trained our girls to even think like that. And so now they're 30 and 40 years old talking about we would need to find ourselves. You're talking about marriage all the time. Everything's for a man. Everything's for a man. I got to get to know myself as a woman. That's stuff mommy should teach you growing up. How to be a woman. How to clean yourself like a woman. How to take care of your body like a woman. The best way she knows how. She's supposed to show you how to show up in the relationship, how to relate to a man the best way you can. That's what mothers do. All of these programs that I do is just supplementing what your mama did, or maybe filling in for things or lessons that you either forgot or mommy didn't teach you. That's all this stuff is supplemental. If mothers were doing what they were supposed to be doing or could have been doing, baby, I wouldn't be in business right now. That's period. Period. That's period. So all this, we got to find ourselves. You're always talking about yes, I'm talking about marriage. Because without families, we don't have societies. Families make up communities. Communities make up societies. Societies make up the countries make up the world. What are we doing if we don't have families? It's the bedrock of society. You think society can last with a bunch of single people walking around here screwing? Nobody's having babies. Everybody hates each other. You actually think we can last another 30 years like this? You actually think that? And now we have wars and rumors of wars. And if you've read your Bible, you already know what that means. Wars and rumors of wars. And where is that war at right now? The Middle East. Those of you that read your Bibles, I'm just saying. Where was the Antichrist supposed to come from? I'm just saying. And so we're playing. And we just kind of let, no. You becoming a woman should have happened at home with mom. And now that you didn't get all your lessons, find the mentors and advisors that can help you finish those lessons. Maybe a therapist can help you work through some of the things that you work through. But after that, you come to me. I've done all those videos. I've done all that. I'm over that. I want to talk to the women that want to finish. They're at the 1 yard line. Nicole, get me over. I'm tired of denigrating men. I'm tired of fussing. I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of the build me up and affirm me content. I need to get to the finish line. Let me get there. Come on. Push me. Come on, Nicole. Get it. This is this lesson right here. I'm pushing you. This is tough talk. This is what you call it? Tough love. This is this. I'm not making friends today. I'm not making friends. This is the end of the season, baby. Going into the summer, I want you to remember what the assignment is. So get ready to lose friends and be called names in your face and behind your back. The culture is wicked and it's evil. Misery loves company. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's going to get ugly. You're going to lose friends. You're going to have family members denigrate you because of you stepping out and standing on your square. But stand your ground. And in this climate full of women all sounding like man haters, good girls and women who have walked away from the culture stand out to men in a good way. That's why they attack you. Don't get this confused with the emergence of beautiful women from the culture now doing videos and TV shows seemingly calling out bad women and saying things that men like to hear. Don't let that confuse you. I've seen that on TikTok. I've seen that on YouTube. You're going to see a whole lot of women look the part. They're going to perform. Just like I predicted that it'll be a ton of women talking about femininity. I called that years ago. I'm calling it now. You're going to see a new brand of women rising up saying what men want to hear. They're going to have large audiences. Don't let this fool you. Here's another Bible study scripture that I want to give you. Timothy 4:3. For the time will come where they will not endure sound doctrine. They're not going to listen to truth. And after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. Basically, itching ears means people only want to hear what flatters them, what entertains them, what excuses them, or confirms what they already want to believe. They do not want truth that corrects them. They want encouragement, they want affirmation, but never correction. You could always tell somebody that had a very good structure growing up because they may take correction bad, but they still come back to that correction. They know they might push back at it at first and they're like, ugh, but they come back to it anyway. Even some women who didn't have a solid correctional upbringing, structural upbringing, that's what I mean, structural upbringing, sometimes when they really need it and they're tired of going round and round and round, they'll hear something and they'll push back at it at first, but then they go, you know what, that old lady Nicole, she's saying some good stuff, man. Man, she dressed like a church lady, but she kind of right though. Yeah, I get it. They want teaching that comforts their rebellion. They want supporters who make dysfunction and wickedness sound harmless. They are looking for confirmation. They will make fun of your God. They'll mock you and worship and the fact that you worship Jesus as a put down. So get ready for it. They're going to make fun of Christianity. For those of you that are Bible readers, you already know it's already said in the book. They're going to start persecuting Christians. Get ready for it. Lord, I pray every day. I told my husband, I said this, I said, you are going to have to physically protect me in a few years. Because of some of the things that I've said, and I'm not going to leave my square. You're going to have to physically protect me. It's going to get to that point. It's going to get to that point. 2 Timothy 3:12 says, yea, and all that will live godly in Christ Jesus shall suffer persecution. So I'm talking about two things here. I'm talking about you're going to be ostracized for wanting to be a wife, but doubly ostracized if you want to be a Christian wife. So get ready for it. Get ready for it. Now, they hate being called what they are. Here's the caveat. They hate being called what they are If you part your lips to call them what they really are, oh, they get bent out of shape. They get all sensitive and they claim that you're judging them for their lifestyle and appearance. You're jealous. You're jealous. None of that's true. They just can't be called, they can't bear to hear what they really are. But they love to call you names. But they would surely feel great attacking you and judging you, and all you did was just show up in the room. All you did was show up with some clothes on and look half decent, and you have people bent out of shape. Pay attention to that. What they want is a message that says you're fine, when God may be saying repent, grow up, get healing, get therapy, and come a little higher. That is a real cost. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. I've lost friends. I've been disappointed. I've had to cry in the dark about people that broke my heart. Broke. I would have given them anything, and they broke my heart. And I'm like, but I meant well. It wasn't about me. It's what I represented. It's not about me. It's not about you. I'm just letting you know. Hey, Taja, thank you so much for becoming a member. I just want you to know God sees you and he's proud of you. Stand on your square. And I still go through that now. And so will you. I'm here to support you. I'm here. You got me. I wish there was somebody like me who stood on their square that said the things that they said, 10 toes down, chest out, and said it loud with a bullhorn. But unfortunately, that wasn't always the case. I went to churches where women were just kind of, they kind of, Mickey Mouse Christians, They were worse than the culture. I'm going to leave that right there. Many married women here now will say the same thing. Everything is so bent out of shape that when someone like you shows up on the straight and narrow, or at least trying to be, I'm not perfect, and you're not perfect, but you're trying. You're trying to be straight and narrow. You upset the cultural noise with peace. And the enemy can't have that. They attack you nonstop. It feels good to attack you. Take subtle shots and passive aggressive posture against you. And they don't even know why. And you know what? Here's the part that some of you is going to trip you out. Sometimes when they take shots at you, they really like you. They don't even know why they hate you. Like, they say things that are, to disparage you, but they really don't dislike you. But the enemy is in them. They can't control it. The enemy has taken over. They don't really mean to hurt you, but they gotta say it. It makes them feel better to say it because it's on them. The enemy is pushing them to say it. They're part of the culture. They have no defenses against the enemy. So whatever he puts in their minds and souls to say, they say it. And they don't see your tears, because see, you're not that girl. You don't get out in public and do lives and call people out. You don't fight, and you don't do all that reality TV behavior. You don't do that. You're too elegant for that. You're too sophisticated. You don't do posts dragging people and taking shots at people. No, that's beneath you. You're too classy for that. But you do like me. You get in a closet and you cry, and you take it to heart. And your husband or your guy, he's listening to you, and he's holding you, and he's telling you you're magnificent, and but in your heart, you like, this shouldn't have happened to me. Shout out to Eat Everything in Moderation. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I've missed a lot already, so I will definitely catch this one on the replay. Much love. Keep up the great work. I know I will always benefit from listening to you. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Welcome. I appreciate that. I'm just telling you, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is ugly. This is why a lot of women come to these spaces wanting to be wives. They come to these spaces wanting to be wives, and they leave real quick. Because when the heat gets turned up, they can't take the heat. I'm telling you, the heat is coming. I'm preparing you for it. You're going to have some heartbreaks. You're going to have some guys walk away from you, too. You're going to have some guys that have been sweating you for a minute. Ooh, girl. Oh, I like you. I this and that. And as soon as you give him a shot, and he sees, because, see, a lot of guys that don't mean well, I'm talking about the ones that don't mean well. When they find out that you really are what you say you are, they're going to leave. They're going to leave. I just had to tell somebody that on my Facebook page because she was like, even when you try to be good, they leave. Yeah, but he didn't want you anyway. He was hoping that you were lying. He was hoping that you were fake because so many women are. And he thought you was one of those. And when you showed him that you weren't and he walked away, good. Good riddance. Beat it. Like Michael Jackson. Beat it. Hee hee. Beat it. Get gone. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. Get gone. He did you a favor. So get ready for that. Don't take that to mean something's wrong with you. You know what I used to do? Why did they overlook me? And I used to go down the whole checklist of why I was wasting time. It had nothing to do with me. He wasn't him, period. Thank God. Why didn't he choose me? I wasn't the one, duh. Whatever. Life goes on. Life will go on. Just because he didn't, somebody else will. Thank God for my husband. I love my hubby. But that's the truth. I've wasted time. What? Why did he pick me? I'm like the little girl in the color part. Why did he pick me? I wasn't supposed to be. That's not what he wanted. He wasn't in the market for what I was at the time. And that's okay. They will walk away. Let them. Don't run over and stand in front of the door. Don't leave me. I'm a good woman. And don't send me any emails at 2 o'clock in the morning. Miss Nicole, I hate you. I shouldn't have been a good girl. I should have been a bad girl. Nobody's done that. I'm just being funny. But you understand what I'm saying. You'll get mad. You'll cuss me out. You'll be like, that old bird told me to do this. And I lost a good. No, you didn't lose a good one. You're the good one. He lost you. He's the fool that walked away from you. That will happen. Don't spend too much time on it. I'm telling you it's going to happen. Get ready. That doesn't mean all men don't like good women. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Don't go into the darkness with it. It just means he wasn't ready for you. That's it. And you know what? That was pivotal for me when I realized it wasn't me that was the problem. He just wasn't ready for me. Sometimes people can see that you're wonderful. They're just not ready for you. They're not mature enough to handle you. They're not ready to give you what you're asking for. They're not there emotionally. And sometimes the best ones, the best guys, the smart ones, the best guys will walk away because they'll walk away silently because they know they can't do what you're asking. They can't be the man you're asking for. They know they can't. So instead of dogging you and dragging you through the mud, which he could absolutely do, instead of doing that, you know what he'll do? He'll just walk away. Now, on the hindsight, I see it as a blessing. But when I was going through it, I was mad. I was sliding down the wall crying. Lord, is this what I'm supposed to do? This is what I get for I should have went home with the guy from the club. I should have did XYZ. I should have let that guy over there. No. I don't step off my square because he wasn't ready for me. Once I switch my frame of thinking, no, I'm up here. He just couldn't raise to my level. I'm okay with that. And once I accepted that, good things came to me. I immediately started attracting better men that appreciated that about me. That is the real cost. And I'm not going to pretend it isn't a cost. It feels good to attack you. Take subtle shots and passive aggressive posture against you. And they don't even know why. Truth be told, if you didn't love Jesus, if you dressed like the culture, if you spoke like the culture, and all of the other things that the culture wants you to do, bend over, twerk it, open it up wide, shake it like jelly, all that. Sleep with a man, get his money. If you did all that, you might even be the top of the hierarchy. You might actually be popular because you'll be good at it. There were things I chose not to say publicly for a long time because I didn't want the friction. And the women around me who were not living by these values, I didn't want to make them feel judged, even when they constantly judged me for everything. I did not want to lose the room. So I softened, I hedged. I found ways to say the true thing without quite saying it. And what I now know is that the hedging cost me something too. I've been paying the price too. It cost me the women who needed to hear the full version of my message. The ones who were right on the edge and they just needed someone to say it plainly so they could decide. And let me go back. When I say you could probably be at the top of the hierarchy, I'm saying it because you have beauty. You got the curves. You got the deadly curves. You got the beauty. You just decided to package it differently. That's all. That's what I meant by what I said. That you could be the top of the hierarchy. I just wanted to clear that up for some. When a woman is not willing to be socially ostracized, let me tell you what happens. If you listen to this and you go, you know what, Nicole on one, I'm not getting ready to be socially ostracized. I don't want to be on the outside. When a woman is not willing to be socially ostracized, she modifies her desires to fit her environment. Let's talk about what happens when she doesn't want to do this. She starts making peace with less because her friends have made peace with less. You think the people screaming the hardest about standards are actually dating their standards? Put a 1 in the chat if you actually believe that. Put a 2 in the chat if you're like, yeah, I smell a rat. You actually believe the people screaming at the top of their lungs at the mountaintops about their standards are actually dating their standards? If you believe that, I have some beachfront property in Manhattan. I'm sorry, in Montana that I'd like to sell you. You actually believe they're dating their standards. My standards. He's got to have this kind of money. Hey, you actually believe that? Okay. She starts dating down. The people who the women who will not let's take a look at your life. If you listen to this and you say, I'm not willing to pay this price, Nicole. Let's talk about it. What happens is you start dating down and you start dating problematic men instead of the men that would make great husbands. Why? Because the standard you actually hold is not the one being celebrated around you. See, you want a godly man that's held by the laws of the Bible that says take care of your family and leave something. The Bible tells men to leave something for their descendants. That's where they get that from. That's biblical. The Bible says for a husband to be the leader and to take care of his family, protect. That's where so when you say you want a godly husband, they just want a man that look good. He just needs to look good. See, when you say that, and you say, well, no, he needs more than look good. I need to be able to depend on him for some things. But you're saying it different. See, they say, well, yeah, he needs to buy me, take me on trips and things like that. No, but you're saying, yeah, I make good money myself. I have a good job. I don't need a man for that. I need a man that can hold me down emotionally. I can come to him and he can open up those big muscular arms and take me in his arm. He understands the assignment. He can see it on my face. He can be like, come here, baby. Come here. Right? I need that. See, when you have a good job and you're successful, you already have that. Money is not see, a lot of women, their immediate need is money. That's beneath you. That conversation is actually déclassé. You need a man that can talk to you. You need a man that understands. He actually can spell words bigger than 5 letters. He can read. He doesn't have to use his finger to read. He can actually understand things. You know how glad I am to have a man that's smarter than me? That reads books, that I have to Google words he uses. I love that. That's one of the things that attracted me to him. I don't know if I've ever said that to him. The fact that when he speaks, I have to get out my dictionary. We'll be driving and he'll say a word and I'll just pick up my phone like I'm checking and I'm Googling what he just said. I love that. I love that. Some women that are professional and go-getters, you're not looking for a man that that's so déclassé. That's so 1982. You're looking for a man that could show up for you. Okay? He can have a conversation with you that you can understand, and he's not fumbling through and you're not playing jazz records in your head as he's talking because you wish he could get through the sentence already. Like, can he articulate? Can he get it out? Spit it out? You want a man that can speak and hold his own, and you're not afraid to take him around your family because he can actually make you look good. Have you ever had somebody have you ever dated somebody and you take him around your family and you're like, "Ooh, don't ask him. I hope they don't ask him any difficult questions because he gets stuck and he starts, Women that are successful, you can't be this powerhouse with this dodo as a man. You need a man that can read books. He actually reads. Like he might actually read Forbes or the Robb Report or the Wall Street Journal. I have a subscription to the Wall Street Journal. Like, he actually reads articles and refers to books because he actually read them, not the cliff notes. He actually read the books. He actually is astute on something besides the best rap album of the year or the best don't get me started. The best rock album of the year. Like, he knows every stat about Michael Jackson, but you ask him a stat about a portfolio, he's like, huh? That's what I'm talking about. That's what you need. You need a man that can relate. You can take him to the cookout, or you can take him to the F1. You can take him to the Daytona 500, or you can take him to the gala. Right? That's what you need. So you need him to understand the assignment. And you're dating women that he just needs to look good. They're okay with a handsome dummy as long as he looks good, because that's a flex for them. That's not a flex for you. That's not a flex. You need a man that can actually relate to you. He can actually hold a sentence. You're not looking up at the ceiling like, oh my God, I wish he would stop talking. He's an idiot. Oh my God. You need a man that can handle situations that may come up and challenges, and you're afraid he's like Nabal in the Bible. You know, Abigail's husband. He's such an idiot. See, we act like Christianity doesn't talk about ignorant men. It absolutely does. You just have to actually read the Bible and stop talking about it. Just be about it. When you read the Bible, you'll learn about Abigail. I have some videos coming up that talk about Abigail. Abigail married an idiot. He's an idiot. And, in the Bible days, you couldn't control who you married. And so she married Nabal. He's an idiot. And she had to take over and make decisions. Otherwise, King David was going to annihilate her whole village. He's an idiot. Her husband's an idiot. She had to run out there and beg David. Look, King David, please. My husband is an idiot. Please. Trust me. And he was like, I was wondering what kind of people you were, because your husband, I know, King David, please, I know, please. She had to smooth things over because her husband's an idiot. That's not what you want to do. You want to marry a man that can get out there, King David, this is my kingdom right here. This is my people. Let's talk. You want a man that can handle himself. Not just fighting, that's child. I mean, that's good that he has hands, but you need a man that can use his mouth to make things happen, not just run his mouth. Oh, he's really good and astute when he's talking to you and talking down to you, but when it comes to handling business, he don't know what to do. No, that's not what you need. You need a man that knows how to be a freaking man. Buying you dinner is just, okay, you bought me dinner. But handling business, picking up that phone, making things happen. The sexiest thing my husband says to me is, I got it. I got it. I got it. And those of you that know me personally, oh my God. My God. My best friend will tell you, Nicole, if something gets snagged, I get this look that comes up on my face like this isn't. And he says, I got it. Some things he can't do. Some things, is out of his purview because I just, it's business or something that my personal business. But in terms of just life, I got it. I love that. I needed a man that's like, I got it. I got it is never in his vocabulary. You go to him with a problem, he's coming to you. Like, I was wondering what you were going to do. I was wondering how you were going to figure it out. I going into the second half of my life, I don't want to deal with a man who's coming to me all the time to solve a problem that's going to get on my nerves. What do I need you for if you can't solve a problem? If you can't come up with a solution, every time I turn around, I'm the one solving problems. Baby, why are you here? Just go ahead on. Go ahead on about your business, because I don't need that. You adding to my already stress. I don't need that. I need a man that can say, baby, I got it. I got it. I got it. And a real good man, he'll solve a problem before you even know it's a problem. That's next level. That's next level. And so she starts calling it keeping my standards high, because that's what the people around her say and they claim to do, so she doesn't want to be different and shamed. And she's just refusing to be different. Even though these losing philosophies aren't successful for most of the women around her, she still refuses to be different. The women I know who are married, even in this chat, that are well married on purpose by coveted married men, they all had a moment where they chose the marriage they wanted over social comfort of pretending they didn't want it that much. But even after you've given, or after you've gotten honest with yourself, and even after you've decided you can handle the friction of being set apart socially, you're like, Miss Nicole, this is softball stuff. I thought you said I had something difficult for me. Okay, there's another door you got to go through. Hold your wigs. And this one is the one that lives inside of you. Let me ask you a question before we move on. Has anyone in your life ever made you feel like your standards were too high? Or wanting marriage was too much? Drop a yes or tell me about it in the comments. Here's the last one. The willingness to be set apart from the culture. Now, they kind of push you away, but a lot of people fight to get back in. Right? And it's obvious that you're different. It's obvious that you're showing up different, but you try to come back to the culture because you don't want to be set apart. This was a battle for me too. I'm not going to lie. When I was younger, I wanted to fight and be a part of the culture. I'm not different. I'm the same. I'm cool. No, I'm not cool. I'm different. And that's okay being different. This is the different space over here. The third willingness is related to the second one, but it's not the same thing. And let me explain. Being socially ostracized is about what other people do to you. Okay? Being set apart from the culture, listen to this, is what you decide for yourself. This is a personal decision. This is going to get tough. Hold your wigs. It is a decision to live differently. Not because you're better than anyone, but because you're going somewhere specific, and the road to that place does not run through the middle of the culture. Period. The culture right now tells women that marriage should be the last thing on the list. Get your education, build the career first, build your body, build the brand, travel, experience everything. And then somewhere around, whenever you feel like it, you can think about marriage. And I want to say this carefully, because I'm not anti-ambition and I'm not anti-accomplishment. There is nothing wrong with any of those things. It's just the problem is when you spent 15 years building a life that has no room in it for a husband, and then wonder why no man is staying around. Being set apart means you're building with the end in mind. From the beginning, not waiting until you feel ready, because the readiness comes from building, not before it. Does that make sense? The readiness comes before the man. The readiness comes before the man. I want to say something here for women who have a faith framework, and I want the women who don't to stay with me, because this applies to you too. Being set apart is a biblical concept. I always go to this scripture, Romans 12:2 is one of our pillar scriptures. Do not be conformed to this world. Be transformed by the renew your mind. That's what this whole live stream is about. Renewing your mind. This is not just a spiritual instruction. That is a relational one. A woman who has renewed her mind about what marriage is, what a husband is, what she is called to be in a covenant. She moves differently. She chooses differently. She does not have to be told not to accept less because she already knows what more looks like. And for the women who don't operate from a faith space, let me say what I'm talking about. What I'm describing is a woman with a clear standard that she did not borrow from her environment. She didn't get it from the culture. She decided it on purpose. That is the one that is the same principle. That's the same principle. You choose it. You are not just floating in whatever the culture handed you. One more thing I should add here. The culture has an us versus them position, men versus women, when it comes to romantic relationships, especially when it comes to dating and marriage advice. Be careful of that. Watch out for that. That us versus them culture advice will lead you right on back into the wrong mindsets that we're talking about now. And it will be framed as, I'm just looking out for you. I have tons of experience. You should listen to me. I'm older and wiser. Or I understand men better than other women. Trust me. Or I get my money, so I don't care about these men. Or just focus on work. Decenter men. Men only want sex. All men cheat. Or even worse, they come off as advocates for men. All of this sets you up to get frustrated and down the single forever rabbit hole you go. That's it. There's nowhere else to go but down the single rabbit hole once again. Let me show you. That's all this can be right here. That's all it can be right here is this. That's all it can be is that bottom 60. That's it. While you have all these other skills that put you at the top, that mindset brings you right on down that single rabbit hole. And it's dark and lonely. And it's a deep hole. It goes all the way down. That's all it sets you up for. It is framed as us versus them. And it won't help you. Just cancel that wedding and ring because it's not happening. You might get a good boyfriend that'll use you up and spend time with you, move in, chill with, go to a couple of places and things like that. For a few years, he'll hang out with you. But husband, to put his name on you and prioritize you, no, that's not happening. Not the man that you want. Yeah, you'll have a boyfriend to lay up with you for a few years, and then once he gets tired, he'll move on, or you'll get tired of him. Because he won't marry you. He'll be glad to be a boyfriend, but he won't marry you. So eventually you all will break up because you'll get tired of that process. That'll be the best you'll get. And that's what the majority of women will get. A guy that will stick around for a few months, maybe a couple years tops, and then he'll get tired. That's what most women that will get. They'll get. And they'll be happy with that. They'll convince themselves they're happy with that. When a woman is not willing to be set apart, she ends up doing what everyone around her is doing. But here's the thing. She's getting the same results everyone around her is getting. Everybody on here that doesn't do these mindsets ends up in the bottom 60. They all get the same results. Nobody gets better results down there. You think they all get... they're going to get the knight in shining armor at the bottom? Is that what you think? Good luck. They don't. They all get the same guy, just reheated. He's just a different color, different age, different socioeconomic bracket. Same guy. He's not going to marry you. Same guy. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. Well, I'm pretty. I'm a baddie, so you get the same guy that the girl that's a 4 gets. Y'all get the same guy, just reheated. One's fat, one's skinny, one's older, one's younger, one's rich, one poor. It's the same guy. And you know why he's the same guy? Because he doesn't want to marry you. Baddie, girl next door, ugly girl, cute girl, regular girl. It doesn't matter. Y'all get the same guy. The guy that doesn't want to marry you. It doesn't get any better than that. That's what happens when a woman isn't ready to be set apart. And then she's confused because she did everything the culture told her to do. And the culture didn't deliver. The culture was never going to deliver, baby. The culture was not designed to get you to a covenant marriage. You have to you have to be willing to step out of that. That is the third willingness. To set yourself apart from the community. This is what a lot of women are coming across, trying to perform like they understand men. I understand men. I could tell you about men. I understand men, but it's us versus them. It's always some caveat. It always comes back to it's men's fault because they're dealing with stuff. This happens with family members. Same family members do the same. Girl, you need to listen to me. I got a lot of wisdom. I used to do this. Girl, you were sitting here trying to be a wife. Oh, you sitting here trying to be these men, and they have all these derogatory names to call me. Oh, these men ain't these men. You should listen to me. I could tell you, cause back in 19 such and such, I did such and these men. Because she's getting the same men. The culture didn't deliver. She didn't want to be set apart. She didn't want to be different. So now a lot of women have realized this list. They may not have thought it through, but they realize, wait a minute, something's happening. Men are rewarding women that are different. So let me look like I'm a good woman. Let me look like I'm a good girl. Let me perform. All of it's performance, by the way. Oh, I'm an advocate for men. I understand men. It's all an act. Just so you know that. You know that deep down. It's all performance. Because if it's not, like I said when I started this live, being a wife is in you, not on you. It's not something you put on. Well, today I'm going to act like a wife. Now, that's not how that works. You're either a wife or you're not. You're a wife before you get married. That's why he sees you and says, yeah, this one's different. This one, I don't put this one in a category. I don't put her, not this one. Oh, no. See, women who say, I'll be a wife when I meet the right man. That's not how that works. That's backwards. That's what the culture tells you. You get prepared for a man. Prepare for a man. They all cheat. They all bet. See, that's what's going to keep you in that on the front row of singleness. Watching the show, watching the parade from the front seat, watching everybody announce their marriages, and you still sitting there wondering why you're getting coffee dates. That's what's going to happen because the culture tells you you don't have to do anything. He's just going to show up, and if he likes you, that's it. Well, that's part of it. The rest of it is you have to look like a wife. You've got to behave. The wife mindset got to be in you, not on you. And a lot of women have picked up on that. They just haven't said it. They just know it's something I'm doing. Let me perform like I know. Let me perform like being a wife is in me. So let me talk like I understand men and I understand their side of this gender war. Let me talk like I understand men and I have their best interests at heart. Let me talk like I get men. Because then maybe if I perform like I understand them, then they'll see that being a wife is in me. When adversity comes, you'll realize being a wife is on you. And that's another thing. Everybody's marriage isn't created equal. It's not. But I've talked about that before. But I just want you all to get that and understand that. Get that in your system. And when a man sees you and you haven't prepared and you haven't dedicated yourself to being willing to do the three things that we talked about, baby, the top of this pyramid is as far as you go. Maybe a cool girl, but mostly not, because he probably want to bang you. He wants to sleep with you. So he probably won't put you as platonic because he wants to eventually lay down with you, you know. Now, if he's a godly man, you're not going to be a fun girl. You're not going to be a good girl. I'm sorry, a girlfriend. You'll just be somebody he's acquainted with. He won't even bring you in his circle. But these other guys, the majority of them, if you're not prepared when he has a conversation with you and you look like the culture, you talk like the culture, you act like the culture, everything with you seems like a performance. It's almost he's like, did I forget to pay my entry? Like, when is this movie over? It's like she's always acting. This is all subconscious. This is all going on in his mind. He's computing. He's taking in data about you. Everything that you're doing, he's taking in data. And he's computing. You know how the little computers do, right? And then the computer will spit out a spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet is going to say at the top, she is not the one. And all of this happens within split seconds of talking to you, because you've already made the decision. You don't know what you want. You sound like the culture. You want to fit in. So if they don't approve of anything that you say, you don't want it. And then on top of that, you don't want to be set apart. You don't want to seem different. You want to seem like everybody else. You want to be cookie cutter. You want to be a part of the crowd. You don't want the sisterhood to say you're different. You want them to call you to hang out. For them to reject you is the ultimate rejection. You could not handle rejection. That's not something you want. And for a lot of women, you know what, I get it, because it's a gamble. You don't want to be ostracized by the sisterhood for something that you deep down don't believe you could possibly get. So you don't want to lose the few friends that you have, the support system that you have, for a man that you don't have yet. I get it. But in life, everything requires a decision. And this requires a sacrifice. And that's because the society has devolved so much that becoming a wife, or want to become a wife, is actually counterculture. Can you believe that? And these three things have to be evident when a man meets you. It can't be pretended by. See, a lot of women will pretend. They'll pretend all of this. They'll pretend that they're different. They pretend that they want marriage. They pretend that they understand men. They pretend, I like men. I love men. Girl, they can't stand men. Anytime you scream and holler that you like men, and then everything is us versus them, baby, you can't stand men. You can't say, it's a dead giveaway. Men pick up on that like night and day. And you can pretend that's not you and switch up. They still pick up on it. It's still little social cues that we're going to talk about in the Future Wives Club that men pick up on so quick and easy. They're like, yeah, They pick up on that stuff so easily. You don't have to say I dislike men, and you don't have to say I like men, baby. It's all in it, baby. They pick up on it. And so once they pick up on it, guess what? You have two categories that you go in, not three. Friends with benefits, girlfriend for now. Depending on how much he likes you, he might keep you around for a long time. Long time is relative, right? But long time meaning probably more than a month, more than a couple of weeks. Long term, maybe, possibly. But he's not going to keep you. He's made that decision. That's clear. He's not going to keep you. He's changing his mind. I keep telling women, men change their mind. When they go through this and they're like, so she doesn't want to separate from the sisterhood. She wants to be accepted by the sisterhood. So she's not going to do anything to challenge the status quo. This horrible stuff out here. And you can fake it if you want to. A lot of women fake it. But when they're triggered, it comes out. So you don't fake it. Just do it. Just make up in your mind to do it. If you fake it, it's actually worse. It's actually worse for you, because once he finds out you faked it, that's when he's like, oh, she's playing a game. Okay, let's play this game. And a lot of women don't like it when a man plays the game. Once he catches on that you aren't 100% genuine. See, godly men, they done with you. They're like, you're in no category. I don't want to deal with this. It's not what. But the guy that he's kind of okay, but he's he's not out here being a dog. He's not out here playing people. But once he smells or feels or catches on or gets the inkling or a red flag that you might be playing, you switching up. You come out on the date and you speaking like the girl next door, and you talking about you love Jesus and all this, and then as soon as you get upset, you a totally different person. Or as soon as we get alone, you trying to get and kind of deduce me and seduce me and try to get to know me and open me up and make me vulnerable so you can find my weaknesses to use against me. Try to seduce me with my feminine words and rhetoric. He picks up. He's like, wait. First of all, you were speaking like Elise Keating from Family Ties. You were speaking like Felicia Rashad for Cosby from the Cosby Show. Claire, you were speaking like Claire Huxtable at first, and now you're speaking like Mae West. Now you're speaking like, wait, this isn't adding up. This is two different people. Boom, red flag. All this data is going on in his head. And then the printout is she fake. Put her back in the streets. She fake. She ain't the one. She's fake. She's good for now. She ain't even good for a girlfriend. Just put her back. Put her back. And here's the thing about men. Because I was going to close the season out with the psychology of men. And I'm still going to do that sometime this summer. So don't hold me to it. It might be the fall. Because that might be a season opener. Because that's going to be a banger. When I tell you about the psychology of men, see, because I promised it to you, so it's going to happen. It just may not happen right now, because this summer I'm going to enjoy myself, and I'm going to dedicate my time to the Future Wives Club, because we have some good, fun stuff coming up. I'm going to do it first with them, and then, let them, we talk about it there. It's be one of our master classes, or something that we talk about in the Future Wives Club, then I'll roll it out. Maybe this summer we'll do a live, or maybe this fall. But the psychology of men, you know how he did the data, and then the printout comes and says, she the one, put her back in the streets. She's not the one, she's for fun. You know that printout? Okay. Men don't argue with the printout. They don't argue with the print. See, women get the printout, and we'll have our pretty little heads. He doesn't pay bills. He can't keep a job. He's a cheater. He's he was flirting with my friend. All this data, right? The ex-girlfriend said she hit him. He hit her. He got 4 kids. He don't take care of. We take all that data. And here's the printout. Printout. And the printout will say, girl, put him back in the streets like a dirty mutt. Get him out of your house. Ignore him. You know what we will do? We will take that printout and go, I know what I see, but I know what I want. And you'll take that printout and cut it all up, tear it all up to pieces, and throw it across the room. The answers is on the printout. You've got the data and you argue with it. When a man gathers data about you, she likes to hang out. She likes to show her private parts on social media. She's always talking about the culture. She doesn't seem trustworthy. She's always talking about what she wants and what she wants a man to do for her, but she never talks about how she wants to show up in the room. It's just all this data. Her past. All of that printout put her back in the streets. She is not the one. You know what men do? They go, well, glad I know that. Moving right on. Let me stop calling her immediately. How do I get out of this? Well, she's kind of cute. I still want to sleep with her, so let me hang out a little bit. Let me, I got the data. But she's so sexy. I just want to, after I sleep with her, I'ma leave. And that's why when he sleeps with you, he leaves. It wasn't because of the sex. He had already made his decision before the sex. See, that's why I need to do a psychology video. Because, see, you think the decision was made after the sex. Baby, the decision was made before you came over, before he took you to the decision was made. He got his printout on you before that, because you hadn't made the decision to do these 3 things. You showed up as something other than a wife. I don't know how you showed up, but it wasn't as a wife. And that computer printed, his little computer, and his brain, he's inputting all this data about you. That printout, men don't argue with the printout. We argue with the printout. And so what happens, another reason why women are super mad at men, because they're mad that men don't handle that printout the way We handle the printout. See, when we get a printout, he hit his last girlfriend. He couldn't stay faithful to his ex-wife. He has 3 kids that he doesn't take care of. He can't keep a job. Every company has something negative to say about. He embarrassed you at the barbecue. He doesn't wear suits. All of these things, you get the printout, and you go, but he's cute. But he's fine. He won't call you. I mean, you keep getting the data. I mean, your computer and at the top of your head is still computing. He won't call you on time. He makes promises he won't keep. Your kids don't like him. I mean, and every time you get the printout, you go, I don't want this printout. I don't believe him. He's sexy. He's cute. And here go your brain. Good Lord. You won't believe it. And you know what? A lot of women get upset with men because when men get that printout, they listen to the printout. They don't argue with the printout. A wife always wants him to feel good. Biggest one is genuinely disinterested in other options, doesn't get in the way, and certainly isn't trying to run the show. This is a man telling you this. This is the man's computer. This is your little computer. She makes me feel horrible. Every time she comes around, she's embarrassing me. She's picking fights with my homeboys. She's always flirting with other men when I'm with her. It's almost like she wants men or she's inviting men to flirt with her. And then when I say something about it, she says I'm insecure. She's always in the way. She's always asking questions and inappropriate. She's always trying to run my show and get all in my business, and she's really not qualified, and she's overreaching, and she's not qualified. Your printout. She's not the one. Put her back in the streets. You're going to listen to that. Women, not so much. Women, we argue with the printout. Well, he's fine. Well, he got money. He popped his last girlfriend because he came home mad. For no reason, it just popped her. Print out. Run, girl, run. And we were like, but he's cute. I'm different because I'm prettier than her. So I'll get a different result. And then when it doesn't work, you're upset with men. You're upset with all men because you ignored the computation. That's one thing I like about men. And God made them that way because they need to go through data quick and make a firm decision quick, because if they're supposed to be the head of the family, they don't have time to be backwards and forwards and, oh, do I want to do this, do I want to do that? No, they need to make a firm decision. So God kind of made them that way. And of course you have the occasional unwise man who's kind of, but see, now you have men going, come here, Dodo. You don't know about women. Let me school you on women. So even now, his computer might not be that sharp. He's like ChatGPT in 2022 when it first came out. He's that version. But then the other guy's like, no. Come on. Let me take you over here. Let me take you to an LLM system you don't know about. Let me take you over here. Let me introduce you to Mistral. Let me introduce you to something else. Because you obviously still operating like 2022. This is not 2022 operations, right? Let me sophisticate your prompts so you can get a different outcome. Because you are behind. You don't understand how these women are getting down out here. And so even the guys that women think will fall for that, the performance was what I mean. The performance, those guys are getting their systems upgraded thanks to the internet. The digital barbershop, the podcast, and some podcasts are better than others. I got you, but nevertheless, their systems are being upgraded, and the women that are performing are upset because the men are like, yeah, I'll buy you that house. Yeah, I'll buy you that fancy car. Yeah, I'll stunt with you on the ground, but I'm still going to do what? Put you as a friends with benefits. I'm still you stayed for a while. You were here for the fun time, not a long time. I'm on to the next, baby. I'm not your Casanova. Me and Romeo ain't never been friends. I got to move on, baby. We got to move on, like pros. Got to move on, move on, move on. That's what it is. When men figure out that you haven't done these three, it's and look, and when you've made the decision to do these three, here's the thing: you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have all the answers in perfect array when they meet you. But if that mindset is together, men can work with a lot. If that mindset is together, they can work with a lot. They sure can. Men will tell you all the time that they'll work with a woman that's coachable. I think it's my husband that said, I don't know what my husband, maybe my husband and I can do a live stream. Probably not today, but sometime for the Future Wives Club. My husband used to say he'd rather have, what's that? An obedient nickel. I forgot what it was. Obedient nickel he'd rather have an obedient nickel rather than a disobedient dime. I think that's what it was. Something like that. He'd rather have a. Now, I'm not saying he's saying I'm a nickel. I guess I don't know. I don't think he's calling me a nickel. That's what he used to say generally as a bachelor. I'd rather have an obedient nickel than a disobedient dime. So that goes out to all the women that think that men are going to fall for this based on looks. They already have a system in place. All of their overdrives are their little drives, hard drives are being upgraded. They're getting system upgrades from other guys who have more experience. And they're going, look, bruh, you need to update your system, baby. We're no longer on Linux. Or is it Linux or Linux? We're no longer on, what's the other program? But you need to update your system. You're behind. Loneliness is a factor too. Men will avoid women they see as a problem. Oh, I'm so glad to have this woman around. But every time she comes around, she gets on my nerves. She's always nitpicking and always arguing. She always want to be right. She's always overperforming. Something just ain't right. Print out. She is not the one. Put her back in the streets. Yep. Yeah, but man, I was close to the booty. Let me hang in there just a little bit more. Because I'm telling you, that's how men think. I mean, they get the printout. And they're like, man, but she fine, though. I kind of like her, though. She makes me laugh. Yeah, I'll hang out for a little bit till I find something better. That's where that short-term girlfriend comes on. I like her. She got a good job. She's not in my pockets. She makes me laugh. She got good sex. And she can make a mean salmon. I think I'll keep her around for a little bit. You know, I like her little house and stuff like that. You know what? If she had her mind right, she could have been a wife. But it's not hitting like it's supposed to. But I'll hang out till I get something better. That's where long-term girlfriend comes in. Yeah, she's cool. She's sexy. But nothing else about her is hitting with me. That's where fun girl comes in. Man, her mind is right. Look at her. Look how she carry herself. Look at everything else. Possibly the one. Immediately. Print out. Doop. Wow, she could possibly be the one. She could possibly be Mrs. Yeah, they will continue to engage women who provide access to sex regardless of her attitude. Some men will put up with your attitude. That explains a lot of tumultuous relationships. You're absolutely right. Some guys will put up with it. You know, some guys will put up with it. So, but the successful ones, they just don't have time. You're too much of a risk. You know, you're too volatile. He can't take you to the gala. You might pick a fight with the women in the bathroom. In the ladies' room, you're fighting with the women. You know, somebody says something that's culturally insensitive and you go off. You know, it's 4th of July, you snap, crackling, popping. Every time somebody says something you don't like. It's almost like you live in an alternate universe where you live in this bubble and he takes you out of the bubble to expose you to something different or something else. And he thinks, well, she should know how to conduct herself. She's professional. You know, she should understand. And then as soon as somebody says something you don't like, maybe it's culturally inappropriate, which happens all the time. Let me touch your hair. Is that really your hair? Is that And then here you go, snap, crackling, popping. And then the next thing you know, he's embarrassed, right? We see this all the time. He's like, well, he does not ignore the data. Sometimes they will ignore the data because they're trying to lay up with you. But that's not for the law. You know, that's what I'm talking about, ladies. Don't be her. It's, I know it may be tough to hear up and through here, but I promise you it's going to help. The culture was never going to deliver what you asked for with this. The culture was not designed to get you that kind of marriage. And so this is the third willingness. Let me ask you a question before we wrap this up. What is one thing you have stopped doing or started doing because you decided to live differently than your environment? Tell me in the comments. The comments go away after the live, so if you want to be honest, it's good. If you have some questions for me, this is the last live of the season. Feel free to type your question in. This is basically free coaching, free mentoring, free advisory right here live. We'll go for it. Ask me a question. It'll be anonymous. Like I said, the chat goes away after the live. So here are the three willingnesses. Willingness to be honest with yourself. That's the first one. Willingness to be socially ostracized was second. And willingness to be set apart from the culture. These are not three separate conversations. They are one conversation, because if you're not honest with yourself, you cannot be set apart. You don't even know what you're setting yourself apart for. And if you're not willing to be ostracized, your honesty is just a ceiling. It only goes as far as your social environment will allow. And if you're not set apart, both of the first two eventually collapse under the weight of the culture, and you end up giving in. And that will always give you permission to forever seek out fantasies it can't deliver. All of these things hold each other up. All three have to be present. You can't say, well, I'm going to do the first one, but the other two, yeah. Or I'm going to do the last one, but I'm not going to do the other two. When they are, something shifts. When they're all present, something shifts. I have watched it happen in my own life. I've watched it happen in other women's lives. I've watched women go from years of the same cycle to a completely different trajectory once they pass through these three doors. Not because the man changed, which is what the culture tells you. Just sit around and wait to find a man that's perfect for you, that hit your menu. No, they changed. Well, it's all on the woman. No, it's just about mindset. That's it. That's it. Just like a man needs to have the mindset of a husband when he meets you, right? Or you're going to stick around for him to learn how to be your husband? How much time you got? So, Future Wives Club is where we stop talking about becoming marriage ready and actually do the work. Not a seminar. It's not another course you buy. This isn't a course. This isn't a half watch. And abandon the digital graveyard with your other, this will change my life purchases. That's not what this Future Wives Club is. This is private. This is for people that just want to elevate and get the information. Living membership community for women who are serious about becoming the kind of woman marriage-minded men, serious marriage-focused men can recognize, pursue, and choose. But I'm telling you, ladies, if you can't do these three, the Future Wives Club isn't for you. The Future Wives Club is for women that are already doing these three things, or they are willing to do these three things. If you're not willing, don't waste your time. Don't waste your money. I don't even want your money. It will be a waste of time. You'll hurt my numbers, my success rate. Just don't even come to my program. Just keep going. I'm not the one for you. But if you've made your decision, like, yeah, Miss Nicole, this was rough for me to hear, but I'm willing to do it. This is the channel for you. This is the space for you. Becoming a wife is probably going to happen to you probably soon, within the next year or two. Because, I mean, this is the heavy lifting right here. I literally gave you a whole masterclass on how to get married right now. You can meet a man right now if your mind is what I just described to you today. Not performing, because that's what the culture tells you. I mean, it really is this. Man, you ready to go. Inside the Future Wives Club, we work through the real things most women keep avoiding: identity work, emotional honesty, standard setting, vetting, discernment, preparation, and the quiet patterns that keep accomplished women respected and not pursued. So this summer, we're focusing on marriageability positioning, because come this fall, everybody's marriageability score will be above 90%. I'm telling you, when a man sees you, he's ready to rock and roll, baby. We're going to get everybody's score up above 90%. Everybody. How you are perceived, how you show up. And most of them are sitting at probably pretty high. They're all above 50%. Every last one of them in the Future Wives Club is above 50%. But I'm going to get you to 9. I mean, some of them really good. Sitting at 70, sitting at 8. But we're going to get you to 90% or above. We're going to get you to A plus. When he sees you, he sees wife. No dispute. How you're perceived, how you show up, what your life communicates, whether your standards, energy, choices actually align with the wife you say you're becoming, all of that. You'll get structured curriculum, live teaching, real-time guidance. It's tons of work in there, tons of workbooks, journal prompts, videos, audio, you name it, it's so much stuff in there. And a community of women who are not here to play small, over-function for men, romanticize confusion. We're not romanticizing men. I have a whole section about Bell psychology. Has some stuff in there, dissected the recent events going on, happening in culture. We talked about that, but through the lens of a wife, because we look at things differently than the culture does. Our call setting, being realistic. Future Wives Club is for the woman who knows marriage requires more than desire. It requires preparation. And what you heard today, if it felt a little too accurate, that's not a coincidence. That's actually your invitation. And if you want to join the Future Wives Club, the link is at the top. I will put the link in this video. So if you are listening to the rebroadcast and you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, I can do these 3. I think I'm ready. You need to go ahead and finish preparing and start your preparation. This is your season of preparation. This isn't singleness. This is your season of preparation. All right. And so you need to get in alignment so we can get you prepared, because it's a little bit nuanced the way the society is. And so we need to position you and be strategic about how you position. Everybody doesn't want the same kind of husband. Everybody's not going to be the same kind of wife. Everybody doesn't want to be a housewife. Okay? Everybody doesn't want to be, 2-income household. Everybody doesn't want that. Everybody doesn't want the same kind of husband. So we need to break down the nuances and get you prepared for that. Join Future Wives Club. This is where future wives are formed. And this is your formal invitation. I'm inviting you, arms open. The link is to join is in the description. And I'm also dropping it in the chat right now. So go ahead. Go read what's inside. If it's for you, come on in. Now, for some of you, Future Wives Club is it's the next step. It's natural. But I also know there's some women listening to me right now who are thinking, okay, I know I need this work, but I'm not ready for that full mentorship. I don't want to put myself like that right now. I don't want to be committed to anything right now. That's exactly why I created the Good Girl Method. Okay, the Good Girl Method is a standalone program that goes straight to the patterns, keeping good women like you and I stuck in the wrong situations, right? If some of this resonated with you, you're like, that's me. She's describing me. I made this program just for you because, let's be honest, a lot of women are good women. We're good. We're smart. We're loyal. We're capable. Women who genuinely want marriage. So a lot of this that I talked about is entertainment for you because you're already doing these things naturally. But being good is not the same as being positioned. And so that is where so many women get trapped. They're over giving, they're over explaining, they're over functioning. And so you're getting tired. And you want to check out of the whole situation altogether and just be like, screw marriage. I don't want it. No, before you do that, the Good Girl Method helps you walk through the 3 doors that we talked about. Every future wife has to walk through. I had to walk through them. The wives in this room have had to walk through them. Even the wives listening. Every last one. And I'm talking about wives that are in genuine relationships where the man actually loves you. Not transactional marriages where you married him for money. I'm talking about real marriages. Okay? Not the ones you see across social media. Identity, standards, and positioning. Because in this culture, The moment you decide you're no longer available for casual access, confusion, situationships, low effort, and let's just see where it goes, people will try to shame you back into being easy to access. They'll call you unrealistic. They'll say you're doing too much. They'll tell you men don't think like that anymore. They'll tell you there are no good men left. They'll say men don't make enough money to take care of a family. They usually, and that's usually how you know you're finally moving correctly, which is weird. As soon as they start attacking you, you know you're making progress, which is weird, right? You're going to need a framework because it's going to get tough. You're going to need reinforcement. You're going to need support. You're going to need language, structure, and support. What to say, how to handle these situations when they come for me. What does this mean when this happens? What does this mean? You're going to need support when the old version of you tries to negotiate her way back in, because she will. And that is what the good girl method gives you. It helps you stop performing as the good girl, really as the nice girl. It helps you performing like the nice girl who just takes it on the chin and does whatever to please, does whatever to get whatever. No, we're turning into you the Proverbs 31 woman who hopes to be chosen. No, you're not the nice girl who hopes to be chosen. And we turn you into the Proverbs 31 woman, and you start becoming the woman who is clear, composed, and positioned to be taken seriously for marriage. And then I added something new to that program, and that's the Fun Girl Rehab. And this section is for the woman who knows she has outgrown the version of herself they used to perform. Make sure you all know to get your questions together. Go ahead and get that together. You used to perform, you used to entertain, overexpose, overexplain, or use attention as proof that you're actually desirable. That's what the culture teaches you to do. It teaches you to get as much attention as you can by any means necessary, usually by sexuality. Because some of you aren't struggling because you're not valuable. You actually are very valuable. You're struggling because your past positioning is still speaking louder than your future wife identity. Fun Girl Rehab is the reset. It's not beating you up because you misunderstood those things. It's basically helping you reposition. It gives you a clear step-by-step system to clean up your positioning, refine how you're perceived, stop performing to compensate for past choices. You feel some type of way about your past, so you overperform to compensate. Nope. You lean heavily on your accomplishments, your professional accomplishments, because you feel bad about your upbringing or your past decisions. No, we work through all of that and get you positioned right so that you become more aligned with the woman you actually want to be. Not fake, not perfect, not becoming some Mary Jane that's perfect and, buttoned all up to the neck and this long. No, that's not what we're doing. We're not pretending your past didn't happen, but we're restoring you, refining you, and repositioning you. That's it. Because a future wife does not need to keep auditioning for attention. That's not what we do. She needs to become recognizable for commitment. So if you know you need the work, but you're not ready for the full membership to Future Wives Club yet, I got it. Start with the Good Girl Method. Okay? It gives you the framework, it gives you the reinforcement, and it gives you the path. And you're going to get support. And with the Fun Girl Rehab included, it helps you stop dragging old patterns into a future you claim you're preparing for. The woman you're becoming needs structure, and the Good Girl Method is where you start. The link is in the description box up top. Go ahead and hit that. She says many women start with too much access but don't know how to pull back within the relationships. That's absolutely correct. And that's with the Good Girl Method. We talk about that as well. We'll get you positioned so that you're not overselling yourself. That's the last thing we want to do. The last thing. Now, here's a new thing I want to say. Now, if you know you need to stop dating from confusion and actually get positioned for marriage, this is where the pop-up married comes in. Remember we talked about the YouTuber that I talked about, I think it was last summer. I talked about her where I said, she seems legit. She seems like what she's talking about is the real deal. She seems like the real deal. I call them fake when I see it, but I said, she looks like the real deal. I hope she's the real deal. She looks like the real deal. She's talking like the real deal. And looked up, she popped up married. She actually inspired the title for this program. Popped Up Married is not for the woman who wants to keep freestyling her love life and calling it trusting the process. If you liked how she did that, where she kind of pulled back and she started focusing on God, focusing on her brand, because sometimes a lot of women's brands is real funky out here. You have a really good heart, but your brand sucks. And men go off the brand. They don't go off of your heart. They don't know your heart. They don't know your heart. See, other women know your heart, which is why you cling to them so much. But just because they know your heart, they want to keep you where you are. It is keeping you stagnant. So all it needs is you have the good heart. Keep the heart. Don't get rid of the heart. Keep the heart, but fix that brand. Fix that personal brand. That personal brand sucks. When he sees you, he sees fun girl. He sees good time. He sees don't take serious. He sees put her back in the streets. He says, no, I don't want to keep her. I can't take her home to mom. She'll embarrass me. I can't take her anywhere important. She won't get the assignment. That's what a lot of people's personal brand speaks. Even though you have a wonderful heart, you will give the shirt off your back. You will give the last bite of a morsel to somebody that's hungry. I get it. I understand it. That reputation sucks. It's in the garbage. That personal brand sucks. Because guess what? You haven't done the 3 things that we talked about today. Respectfully, the process has been given delays. This program is designed to help you take a step back, get yourself together, and reemerge with a real marriage strategy. This is about transforming into the woman you need to be without all that performing, which is what the culture teaches you, which is why it fails. No vibes, no guessing, no, let me see where this goes. All of that stuff stops. Not collecting random men like emotional souvenirs. That stops. A strategy. Inside Pop Up Married, we help you so you can get an idea of it. We help you identify your wife archetype, the kind of wife you are built to become, how you love, how you lead, all of those things. And then we help you identify your husband archetype, the kind of man who actually aligns with the kind of woman you want to be. Because this is where women waste years. They keep dating men they have chemistry with, history with, attraction to, or potential for, but then no real compatibility. Right? You still computing, gathering data. You're doing all this gathering data. The printout comes, put him back in the streets, girl. He's not the one. No. What do? You keep him because you have chemistry. You keep him because you have history, because you don't want to start over. You're attracted to him. He's got potential, but you all don't get along. He has nothing you're asking for. You sitting up here talking about, I have high standards, and then you're dealing with this guy. And then they wonder why it feels like you're always starting over. You're wondering why every time, every 6 months, every year, you're starting over from scratch. Every fall, it seems like you're out there and you're caught like musical chairs. You're caught with no chair during cuffing season. When it starts to get cool outside, you don't have a boo to send you some flowers on Valentine's Day. You don't have a man to spend Christmas with and curl up with hot chocolate and watch Hallmark movies while he strokes your hair. And you're like, goodness, why is it always me stuck without the chair every season? This is for you. When you understand your wife archetype and the husband archetype that fits it, you stop wasting time entertaining men who were never built for the marriage you want. Remember when we did the marriageability shows and we had women come on stage and we evaluated her for wife? I basically put that into a program so you could do that with yourself. I walk you through the whole process, and by the end of the program, it's not long, by the end of the program, you're like, yeah, I know what kind of wife I want to be. I know what kind of husband I want. So it drastically reduces the uncertainty, and you stop wasting time on men that you're not even compatible with, because it's going to make logical sense to you. Okay? That alone can drastically reduce how long you stay single. Because now you're not dating from fantasy, you're dating from clarity. You're not asking, does he like me? Instead, you're asking, does this man fit my life? Marriage? Does he want marriage and the kind of marriage that I want? And does he fit the future that I'm actually preparing for? That is a completely different woman. Pop Up Married gives you the framework, the filters, the positioning, and the strategy to narrow your options down to the men who actually make sense. No more freestyling. No more, oh, let me go out with him and let me see. Oh, I'm kind of attracted to him, but I still, let me go out him and let me give him a chance. He's not my kind. He doesn't float my boat, but let me give it a shot. No more of that. No more romantic gambling. No more confusing attention with no more. This is for the women who are ready to pause their life, everything. Just stop. Everything's chaotic. You got all these videos and podcasts and all of these people in your ears and colleagues and friends. All of this information is like information overload. What this program does is it pause. It helps you reposition and re-enter the marriage market. Remember that? The marriage market as someone who is not just available for marriage, but you're prepared for it. So, if you know you need structure and strategy and a real framework for becoming a woman who can be recognized and chosen for marriage, get Popped Up Married. Because the goal is not more options, the goal is the right option, recognizing you clearly. All right, so now for Q&A. If you have any questions, now's the time. You know, sometimes I forget Q&A, y'all, and I wanted to, before we close out the season of live streams, I wanted to give you all the opportunity to ask me questions. It could be a past live stream that you heard, or a question or a general question you want to ask. It's all good. We have a few minutes if you want to ask any questions. It's all anonymous. I won't put you on the jumbotron. I won't embarrass you like that. But if you want to ask some questions, it's good. A lot of comments. Let me see. A woman who respects herself universally and isn't for everyone, who is soft and gives a little bit, but not too much, and is deadpan to his sexual competitors is ideal. That's a lot. If you bring no problems and only upliftment, support, effort, nurturing, but not enough to make you resentful, that's best case scenario. And if it doesn't work from there, it wasn't meant to work. Get married because you want the interpersonal dynamic, your personalities match, and you genuinely enjoy each other's company and cooperate well together. Don't get married because you think you earned the title or want to lock specific somebody down, or to be the chosen one out of a group of other women. Yeah, we're no longer performing marriage. Don't perform marriage. Don't do it. And so for the people that go, you're selling courses, we live in a capitalist society. That's what people do. They sell their services and their wisdom and their knowledge. Don't get mad at me because you don't have enough to package into a system. And yes, that was a shot. So, I have things that are worth being paid for, and I don't mind packaging it real pretty for people that don't have time to sit in a 2-hour live. They want to get my knowledge in a containment at their pace where they can study it, and it is theirs for life. Once you buy this, I'm not going to take it back from you. It's yours for life, right? So you can always come back to this information whenever. These videos are not promise to be here forever. They might become members only. They might be removed from the channel. Anything could happen, but that course is yours. And so that's what that is, and that's why we sell programs, because I'm not going to be sitting in 2, 3, 4, 5 hour webinars answering questions over and over and over and over when I could just record it and you all can take it and use it as long as you need to use it, especially if I have a few people on my lives. I'm supposed to keep doing live masterclasses. I have my live masterclasses in my Future Wives Club, and that's where that's at. But in terms of courses, if you're mad about it, keep getting mad. Get mad with your mama. Sell your products and you mind yours, and I will do what I do over here. Don't get mad. If my husband says it's okay, why do I care about what you're talking about? Mind your business. We do what we do here because we're trying to maximize the amount of women that we help. And that's the last explanation I'm giving about whatever I do. And if you keep complaining, I will keep raising the prices, because that's the point of me doing that, is to keep people out that don't need the information. Just because you don't value it and you're performing what you do is why you do what you do. Don't worry about what I do. Don't worry about what the feminine elite is doing over here. Don't worry about the inner beauty movement. We are good. My products are second to none, and that's that. Shout out, speaking of second to none, shout out to the Feminine Elite Society app that is still getting rave reviews. I just got an email the other day, an email notification of a rave review from the app with the updates. So shout out to them. Shout out to those of you on the app. It's only getting better, and I have some audios and videos and workbooks and all kinds of stuff that are coming. You name it, it's on it. Download it, take a look around, see if it's something that you could benefit from. And even if you don't get the subscription, you still get the daily affirmations and the announcements. And a lot of people like the affirmations, but the real information is inside of the app. Look, we live in a capitalistic environment, and if I have done hours and hours and hours of content, but what I've discovered is that people really buckle down and bear down and get this information when it's in a container. And so if you are on YouTube and you have a problem with people packaging, a lot of people have a problem with women teaching women how to be wives. Worry about yourself, because people that are performing how to be wives, they don't see the value in it. But people that actually want to be a wife, they want to get a Naomi, and they want to learn how to be a wife that a man can love, a wife that a man can prioritize. They need that. They need that structure. They need it in a container. And they can't really take a random video. That's good. That's cool. But this is surface. This is real. This isn't the meat and potatoes. If you thought this was rough, if you can't make it past this, then you just need to bow out of the whole marriage conversation. And that's what this is about. YouTube is the barrier of entry. If what you hear on YouTube is pushing you away from marriage altogether, there's no reason to be in the Future Wives Club. There's no reason to buy any products about marriage. It's a waste of time. Keep your money. Just take you a trip to Bahamas, or take you a cruise. Go travel. Go spend some money somewhere else. Go on a safari. Go solo. Go do something. But it's not for marriage. This is the barrier of entry. This is why these lives are long, because I want to build some time with you and give you an opportunity to ask me questions. But if you don't understand why we package our wisdom into products that people want to study in private, well, I can't help you. Your mind is a little bit small. You need to catch up. And this year, this day and time, people want to study at their own pace and their own, that's what people want to do. And get with it. And I'm good at what I do. So yeah, I mean, of course, and I always look at somebody real, and I'm gonna say this because this is my last live for a while. I always say this: if you're that good, why are you so cheap? Why are you so free? If everything you say is so life changing, why are you so free? Nobody expects people that are super good to be free. They're like, wait, why are you so good and why are you so free? They expect good people to ask for what they deserve. That's what they expect. And I'm good at what I do. I'm very good at what I do. I pop my collar. I am very good at what I do. My husband will tell you I wake up thinking about content. I go to bed thinking about content. Sometimes I have to literally unplug. That's what the summer is about. I'm unplugging. And I'm still thinking about y'all. Even when I'm done, because this is my heart, this is my passion. But I'm not going to apologize because of how I package my wisdom. I'm not going to do that. So be mad, be jealous, do what you do. But I'm not changing. As a matter of fact, my prices went up on my collectives. So if you want to work with me one-on-one, that went up. Why? Because my service is increasing. What I used to do when I started is 10 times better than it was then. I'm dedicating more time. I'm giving you more tools. It's just way more than I did offer in the beginning. $100 an hour, $200 an hour, that's exactly what you got. Now you're getting way more of my time, way more, and I'm seeing the results. The results speak way louder than just getting me for an hour. I'm not transactional. I build relationships with my clients, even the ones that are private. I see you, and I'm gonna keep you secret. We're not. This is private. We are. I'm elevating my level of service, and that if that means smaller spaces, that's what it means. And that's why my husband is here, because he gives me that space to offer that. And it's not just, ooh, let me make a quick dollar. That's not, this is passion. A lot of stuff I do I don't even get paid for. Because this is a passion, because I love it. And when you win, that's when I win. I don't, if I do this over and over and over and over and over and nobody gets what they want, I'm losing. Right? You're losing, but I'm losing. I'm losing the most because I'm the one that dedicated the time to fire up and say these things. And if you don't get what you're supposed to get, guess who's losing? Me. So it benefits me and behooves me to offer top-notch service. And I offer top-notch service. Top-notch service in this industry. She says, Nicole, my question is up farther. Okay, let me scroll up. Let me scroll up. Let me scroll. Okay. Oh, that's not the question. Let me keep going. Okay. Can you talk about the weight of honesty about the desire to be married, but still patiently trusting God with the outcome in a committed relationship? Culture calls it detaching. What it means is that we have to really stand on our faith. We have to really call on our faith when we're in this season of waiting. And that's why the Bible always tells us it gives us 99 things of what we need to be doing, right? And that's why these lives are here to remind you of the things that we could be working on in our season of preparedness. We're preparing to be married. That's when our husbands actually find us, is when we're preparing. And once we focus on that, we don't have to detach. Detaching is for women who are performing. If I could just be very blunt, you have to detach when you haven't worked on yourself. You haven't sat down and did an honest audit of your behavior, his behavior, what you tolerated, what could have changed. You did an honest assessment, an introspection of the relationship, an autopsy of the relationships that you had. You haven't been honest with yourself. So what you do is, instead of doing that and saying, let me make constructive criticism of myself, not beating up on yourself, constructive criticism of myself. Instead of doing that, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to detach from relationships altogether. I'm just going to detach from men altogether. Sounds like to me you're performing. Not you per se, but it sounds like that person is performing. Because performing wears you out. Performing leaves you frustrated. Performing has you turning into whatever that man wants at that moment. If he says he wants a cook that can make food from scratch like his grandma, and he refuses to marry a woman that cooks from scratch like his grandma, guess what he's going to do? Guess what that woman's going to do? Because she's performing, guess what she's going to do? She's going to get in there and she's going to cook like she thinks he wants. And guess what? Because she's performing, okay, he may or may not, chances are more than likely, she hasn't done the three things we talked about, the three doors. And so he's going to put her back. He's going to put her back. His data is like, put her back in the streets. She's not the one. Now, she did all of those things that he said he wanted. We saw a celebrity that this just happened to just recently. And so many women were upset. Let me tell you the real reason they were upset. The real reason they were upset is because they saw themselves in this particular celebrity. And my heart goes out to her, but this is a lesson for everyone. Everybody, a lot of women saw themselves in her. They saw themselves performing. Perform for his parents. Perform for him. Perform and be something you're not. And then when it didn't work out, now we upset. Now we're screw men. Now let's cheat on all men because this now all men are cheaters. Now no, 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 no. Being a wife has to be in you, not on you. It's not something you perform, it's something you become. It's not a performance. Well, let me act like a wife because I want him. And he says he's not going to marry a woman that doesn't cook chicken the way I'm just, I'm making up something. She doesn't do this, so let me become that. And then when that doesn't pan out, you get worn out from changing. So the next guy you get with, he says, I'm not going to marry a woman who doesn't contribute to the overall pot. I want a woman that's educated and beautiful and she contributes. So you get out there and you do, look at my degrees. Look how I contribute. I help out with the bills. Da, 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 and that's, and you do it. You're like, that's what he wants. That's the kind of wife he wants. And then when that doesn't work out, screw this. All men are broke. He worked me like a dog. If the next man doesn't pay all my bills, I don't want a man. So now you're not traditional, but he needs to be traditional in order to make up for what that other guy took from you. He took time. He made a fool out of you. He used you. That's how you feel. You feel slighted. You feel like you got the short end of the stick. So every man after that got to make up for what that guy took. And the cycle repeats itself over and over. So eventually you're like, let me just detach altogether. Let me just stop wanting marriage. Let me just stop wanting a man. Let me stop wanting. And so now the craving to be a mother is there. So now let me just detach from wanting to be a mother. So not only do you detach from men, which is your biological urge. I'm sorry, I want to be touched by a man. I love being touched by my husband. I love that. I love it when my husband gropes me. Sometimes I'm in a mood, but I still like to be groped because that lets me know he desires me. Come on, baby, touch me. Ooh, yes. I like that. So detaching is saying ignore that. Ignore the fact that you like being touched by a man. You like it when he strokes your hair. He says, "Ooh, you look beautiful in those shoes. Look at you, baby. Walk that walk." I love it when I catch a man watching me walk. I love that. Love it. Love it. That's why I switch. I got that walk, baby. And I love it. I love to peek back and see a man looking, because men will look. A beautiful woman in some nice shoes, her feet's done, and a skirt. A skirt. Pants, not the same thing. A skirt with some nice legs and some heels, and you got that walk, and you walking like what it do, and you look back and he's looking at. That's the best feeling in the world. What detaching says is ignore that. Ignore that. You don't need that. Ignore that. Ignore the fact you want to be a mother. Forget that. Forget that. You have political parties that are telling you you get pregnant, kill, just go ahead and get rid of it. It's about you. You. Detach. Detach from your urge to be a mother. Detach. You don't need it. Detach is a defense mechanism because you've been hurt and you're tired of performing. Because the culture teaches you to perform. And I'm telling you, there's no need to perform. Just be you. You're lovable just like you are. But you still need to prepare. Preparing to be a wife is not getting rid of your identity. It's not saying you're less than. It's not saying, oh, you got to be something you're not. Baby, performing is being something you're not. That's what the culture tells you. I'm telling you to be who you are because that's how God made you. We're just refining you. That's it. We're smoothing over the rough edges. We're cleaning up the little crevices that need to be cleaned up. So when he walks up to it, he's like, yes, I found her. Finally. I'm tired of all these crazy women. I finally found the one. Let me go get that ring. That is the woman that we're talking about becoming over here. And so when women say detach, they're just creating a container, a process, or a defense mechanism to keep you from hurting. You're trying to compensate for hurting. And so instead of telling their audience, hey, baby, Look, we got some work to do as women. Let's get it together. No, they tell you to keep performing. This is the new way to perform. Years ago, it was act feminine. So all of these femininity channels came up. Performing. Performing. They were teaching performance. Then the next thing was be traditional. Act traditional. Talk like a traditional woman. Performance. Act like this to get a man to say he wants to take care of you and pay for your bills and do all that. Performing. Then that didn't work. Now we're moving on to what's the new thing now? Like it's a new fad. And so now that none of those things have panned out, now let's just totally detach. Let's deny who we are as women. Because it's too painful to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I am lovable. The Father loves me. But I do have some areas that I need to work on. Every woman, if you can't do that, marriage isn't for you. Because marriage will only accentuate every little crevice, nook, and cranny that man, that marriage itself. It's not just him, it's marriage. Marriage itself, whatever you need to work on, trust me, that marriage will trigger it. And if you haven't, or if you're the type of person that you're offended when people tell you, look, this is an area of opportunity for you, or they are expressing that, something with you and you can't take it, you're not ready to be a wife. Because that's what mothers do to children. And you're saying, I'm in a position that I can do that to my husband and I can do that to my children, but nobody can tell me anything. That's not a wife. You're not ready. Not ready for that assignment. So detaching, in a very succinct answer, detaching is for it's a defense mechanism, and it's not healthy for women preparing to be married. And for those of you that feel you need to detach, I would say pause trying to be a wife right now and go get therapy and ask the therapist, okay? Ask the therapist, why do I feel like I need to detach? Because detaching means disconnect, move away from, loosen, walk away from. Why do I feel the urge to need to do that? Get to the bottom of that before you start preparing to be a wife. Because being married is all about attaching. It's all about connecting, right? So, any more questions before we get out of here? Let me look at the chat really quick. Hopefully that answers your question. I know I'm long-winded, but I hope I really answered the question. I really did. In Christian circles, it's often called surrender, while in modern culture, it's called detaching. Surrendering is pausing and yielding and allowing God to, allowing your faith to make space for God to do what he needs to do. And detaching is saying, I still want control, and my control is detaching. My control is disconnecting. My control is walking away. And the Father has control. The Father has control. We surrender to him. We surrender our lives to him. We present our bodies to him. And we surrender to him. And we allow him to have control. Detaching is saying I still have control because I'm going to move away. I'm going to detach. I'm going to loosen myself. Totally different meaning. When Christians say we're surrendering, we're not saying, oh, I'm throwing up my hands, I'm walking away. No, we're saying I'm surrendering to God who has control. Instead of me taking over and me trying to work this out, I'm surrendering it and I'm handing it to God. I'm surrendering, yielding. That's what that means. Two different meanings, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, cooking Thanksgiving dinner. Hey, I don't know. Let's see. I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions. If you're in the Future Wives Club, my email, you can reach me in the bulletin board section. Just drop what you need there, and my email is actually in the bulletin board section. She says, I always tell them I'm sorry I'm not the wife for you And good luck on your search. No time wasted, both sides. Absolutely. No hard feelings. No hard feelings. Okay, speaking of walk, whose celebrity TV character would you say has a walk that's eye catching but not exaggerated? Oh, mm, whoo. I would say from the TV shows that I've watched, I would say, don't laugh. I'm gonna give you a skinny version and a heavy set version. I would say Samantha from Sex in the City, if you've ever watched that. Um, she had a very good walk that wasn't too sexy, and I'm talking about her walk now. I'm talking about her walk. Um, and also, don't laugh, y'all. But Nell Carter had that thing about her. She was a big woman. And those of you that remember, you Gen Xers, that you remember Nell Carter from back in the day, she had this thing about her. If you watched her, for a big woman, she walked very, very confidently. Um, if you can match that, that's I would say that's good. You know, I'm just trying to think off the cuff, off the top of my head, who has a good walk. That's what I would say. There's another one. I know people want me to say Olivia Pope. That's the only reason why I wouldn't pick her, is because her walk is very, when she's slow, when she walks slow and very elegant, I like that. But a lot of times she was trying to get somewhere real quick, and she was walking like boss walk, like, hey, I'm walking in the room and things like that. What I'm talking about, that slow move that makes men want to watch you walk, that's not it. Men are not watching her walk. Right? They're like, oh, here she comes. Right? That's not the same energy. You want the walk that says, woo, whoa, look at that walk. That is, yeah, her, yeah, walking too hard. That's, yeah, yeah, walking hard, exactly. You saw that show, Give Me a Break? Yeah. Um, that, if you have her persona, like just her, the way she dealt with men and the way she communicated with men and talked to men, I was like, yo, she's got it. That's it. That's it right there. Just go watch some of the episodes with Nell Carter, and the way she talked to men, and the way she, her eye movement, and the way she did her head, and the way she walked, and the way she walked past a man, that femininity oozed. And, even though you could tell that it was a TV show, you lost yourself in the way her persona, and the way she carried herself. Another one would be an old school one. You just don't see this kind of stuff anymore. I would say Alexis Carrington from old school dynasty, not that new school. Old school dynasty, Alexis Carrington, that walk was second to none. Her eyes, just the way she carried herself, the walk was just second to none. And I'm pretty sure I'll think of some as I leave. But I haven't seen celebrities walk in person, because usually we're looking at photos and things like that. But just them, just right off the cuff, that I could think of, that embodies, that oozes that. Oh, who is she? Who is she? Dominique Devereaux had that presence, but Alexis had that walk. It's just when she walked in, and her shoulders, and her stance, and just everything, the way she sat. And even though she was a bull in a china shop, she didn't look like it. Like, uh, Olivia Pope looks like the bull in the china, and I don't say she looks, but she carried it like she was the bull in the china shop, right? But Alexis Carrington and Dominique Devereaux, they had a presence about them that oozed aura. And aura is not something that we talk about a lot anymore, because everybody's performing. It's got to be in you, not on you. And when Nell Carter does it, even though she's a big woman, She oozed aura. And that's just not something. Me and my best friend were talking about this just yesterday, I promise. Just Naomi Campbell, okay. But just oozing that aura that just like, yes, this is me. This is, not many women embody that this day. Everybody wants to be cookie cutter, which is what I've talked about in my very first book. I said everybody wants to be cookie cutter. Nobody wants to be themselves. Sandra Clark, oh yes, that's a good one. Good one, good one. Taja for the save. Sandra Clark from 227. Although she could exaggerate it just a little bit too much, but if you just dial it down just a little bit, because you don't want to come off, what's the word? You don't want to come off like a floozy. That's an old fashioned word, y'all. You don't want to come off like, you want to come off like, this is just me every day. This is how I walk. Come into my world. You want it to look like it's not staged. It's not performing. You want to make it look like it was just, you just gliding. And I think I'll come up with some more examples after this probably. But we need more women teaching women the mechanics of femininity. So like we have a lot of conversation about femininity and the basic things, and I've covered that a little bit, and I've covered walking in my courses. But women teaching women how to walk, man, and I talk about it, putting that one foot in front of the other, need that heel to foot, and walking, and the figure 8, that needs to be, a lot of women need that basic understanding of femininity, because that's what men are drawn to. That's what makes us different. And right now everybody want to be in a pantsuit, and I get it because I love them too, but hear me out. Everybody wants to be in a pantsuit, and everybody wants to be in heels, and they want to be the boss chick, but nobody wants to be that chick. You just want to be the boss. And what pulls men in is the fact that you're different. See, boss chicks are there to compete with men. Well, I don't compete with men, Nicole. Yet you kind of do. If you're in a pantsuit, he's in a pantsuit. And if you want to be the boss, he want to be the boss. When you put on that skirt, that changes the energy, because now it kind of, what's the word? It pulls men in, because men are wired to respond to us. It kind of disarms him. He's kind of like, whoa, I wasn't expected to see legs, and wow, she looks pretty toes, and look how she's walking, and her voice is soft, and she smells good, and oh my god, it's like women we've lost that art, and I don't know we're going to get it back, but I keep it. I'm glad my grandmother taught me about scent, and always keep some breath mints in your purse. Always bring some, a little compacts and check your nose. Always have a little Kleenex in your, little, chapstick, to make sure the lips aren't chapped. Because what good is lipstick if your lips are chapped? All of those little nuances of ladylikeness. I used to have the ladylike lessons on the channel. We need more of that. Just teaching women how to walk. And that's what I'm talking about, is that just moving very like a woman, softly. I want to close the way I opened, and that's honest. I spent years being careful with this message. And what I know now is that the women who needed the careful version were fine either way. The women who needed the honest version, some of them are still waiting, and I don't want that for you. You know what you want. The question is whether you are willing. And if the answer is yes, I want to be in your corner when you build it. The Future Wives Club is a space for serious women preparing to be wives. We drown out the cultural noise, and we focus on what needs to be learned, changed, and refined. You will not miss out on a great guy when he shows up after being in the Future Wives Club. That's my guarantee. Softness, absolutely. Softness is what we miss, but softness in a way that we need to embody softness. right? Embody it in everything, in our gestures, our movements, because men just don't believe it. They don't believe it. You can master communication and not know how to carry yourself, right? And that's why it has to be in you, not on you. And it only takes a feminine woman to teach that. And people balk at being, how can you teach women how to be femininity, to be feminine? It's not teaching, it's teaching them how to come into themselves, how to, when we had busy mothers, when, remember earlier when I talked about busy mothers, a lot of women did not have time for these micro lessons with their daughters. Not that they weren't teaching their daughters anything. They just didn't have time for the micro lessons of womanhood. And it was these little lessons that were sacrificed, teaching you your perfect set, teaching you how to walk, teaching you to have that aura. Those are things that you picked up from mama. Right? Do you remember playing in your mama's shoes? I know I did. I played in my mama's shoes. I played in her jewelry box. I played dolls. I played house. I pretended like I was a mama. I had my doll house. I was in my little girlness. I didn't have an iPad in my hand playing video games. I had a doll house. I had dolls. I changed my doll's clothes. I played in my mama's shoes. I put on her pearls. I put on her hats. All right. I wanted to be like my mother. And women that are busy, they kind of, that part of little girl ness, having dolls we didn't have that. So I'm not mad at Gen Zs and a lot of younger millennials that are disconnected from the family thing, because they didn't. I grew up summering in Texas and making mud pies in the backyard with my friends. We made mud pies and we're like, oh, what kind of pie you want, baby? Oh yeah, I want a blueberry pie. Okay, let me make you blueberry pie. And we had these little pans and we made mud pies. Did anybody make mud pies when you were growing up? And we were in this Texas heat making mud pies. That was my childhood. That was, going to practice our walk, and my grandmother saying, stop chewing your gum like that, and ladies don't sit like that. And my mom was relentless with that. Ladies don't sit like that. Ladies don't dress like that. Ladies don't sit like this. Ladies. I was like, oh my God. And now look at me. I'm teaching literally with ladies do. I'm just repeating what my mama said to me later. So it's those little micro lessons that women didn't get because their moms were busy. And I'm not beating up on moms. I'm just saying that is part of the motherhood. That is part of the things that women pick up from their moms. And if they saw their moms in business suits and stuff like that, put on a dress? What do you mean? Like, put on a dress has to mean something. It has to, put on a dress means I'm seducing somebody or I'm trying to get attention. It doesn't mean that put on a dress is going to make me sit a certain way. It's going to make me move a certain way. It's going to make me sit down a certain way. I'm going to get out of the car a certain way. I'm going to glide instead of boo, 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 boo. You're like walk by gait. It's totally different in a dress than it is in pants. When I wear slacks, I sit different. I try my best to sit and move the same way I do in a dress. It never works. I subconsciously move differently. I'm not even trying. I move differently. I'm not saying I move around like a horse, but it's different. It's different. When I put on a dress and I put on some heels, the movements are better. It's strategic. Even when I put on a sundress, it's different. Whew, shout out to the South. I love the South. I love it, love it, love it. Born. I'm a Southern belle at heart, but the sun will kill you. Put on a dress, wear a hat. Wear a hat, and to keep your hair from blowing, put a little scarf, a silk scarf. You could put a designer scarf. Put the scarf around your hair to keep your hair from blowing all over your head. Now you have that vintage look. You got the big glasses, and you have the scarf, and you have the top down, and you have that vintage look. People gonna look. They're like, who is that? Everybody else has on pants. Everybody else has on some. And I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying you want the aura of a woman that men. And you're not performing it. This is just who you are. Let me give you another example of a woman that embodies femininity. And then we're gonna call it a day for this season. In the movie Under the Tuscan Sun, with Diane Lane. One of my absolute favorites of movies where it talks about femininity, not talk about femininity, but if you want to know how a woman kind of goes through these three doors, that's the movie. Thank you. Thank you, God, for that. When she goes through these three doors that we're talking about is Under the Tuscan Sun with Diane Lane. Get it. It's perfect for this season. Perfect for what I'm talking about. And she's going through a divorce, and she's going through this stage where she's, you know, and I'm not going to tell you the movie, but she ends up in Italy and she runs into this woman who embodies femininity. I'm not going to tell you the movie. It's just a pleasant surprise, and not a lot of women have that. They just don't. And Diane Lane is beautiful in her own right in the movie, right? And in the movie, she goes through her ups and downs in the movie. Trust me, this movie, when you see it, you're gonna be like, "Oh, Nicole." I'm telling you, Diane Lane did it. It's one of my favorite movies. One of them. I got like 25 of them. This one is in the top 25, and you'll know why when you see it, because it embodies everything that we talked about. She went through all three doors in the movie, and um, and she went through her ups and downs with men throughout the movie. But then she met this woman. Now she's beautiful, but she looked at this woman and was enamored by her. Like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. She followed this woman because this woman had this aura about her. Baby, you know you have that aura when other women follow you. When other women follow you, and I'm not talking about online. No. I'm talking about in person. They follow you. They want to see you, watch you. It's not they same sex. It's not that. It's something about that. Women just don't embody that anymore. And when you see a woman that has it, she's got it, you're like, you want to see it. It's one of those, it's magnetic. It's very magnetic. So when you see this movie and she pops in, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to be like, that's the woman Nicole was talking about. She has this aura about her, and Diane Lane's character just literally was enamored with this woman. That's what I'm talking about. That right there, you can't perform that. That's got to be in you. And you just don't see a lot of women with that. I've seen women and heard women around social media that I thought had some great things to say, but it's only like maybe two or three of them that I said, oh yeah, she got it. And they know, you'll know, I comment. I'm like, you hit it. You got it. If I commented and I said, yeah. And it's very few. And you see, people go off on beauty, and they go off on followers, and they go off on view count. No. It's what she embodies. It's how she shows up, and it's everything. Under the Tuscan Sun with Diane Lane. It's got a yellow cover. That's my summer movie. And when you see a woman that has that, hopefully that's you. But if you see her, you can't help but look. You're like, she's beautiful. And it's not in a lustful way. You're not looking at her like you want her. You're looking at her like she just got it. She just, wow. Can you imagine how men feel about that? See, if women are attracted to it, not attracted to it in a romance way, but attracted to it like a moth to a flame. If women are attracted to it, can you imagine how men feel? That's the power of the feminine aura. And women just don't have it. The culture teaches us that's sexuality. That's show your nips, bend over, twerk. The stripper culture, the OnlyFans culture, the be half naked culture, right? That's not aura. That's just being revealing. That's not, baby, when you can get a man slobbering over you and you still have all your clothes on, you have nothing showing, you're covered up and he's slobbering, baby, you got it. It's in you. And a lot of women, the culture tells you to get a man to do that, you have to be half naked. You have to be seductive. You've got to speak a certain way. Baby, that's performing. When it's in you, baby, you don't have to bring, man, the boys come to the yard on their own. You ain't got to bring nobody nowhere. And I said it just like that. They're coming. You have to fight them off with a stick. Baby, I got a man. Calm down, baby. Calm down. I got a whole husband over here. Calm down. Calm down. Down, boy, down. It's all good. There's some women, when they speak online, they have an aura. Very few, but there's some. They have an aura. I've seen a couple of them back in the day, a few years ago. They come on, and it could be 50 million people speaking at the same time, and you could hear her soft voice. And I was like, yeah, she got it. She got it. She got that thing. A lot of women don't have it like that, and that is something that can be developed. It can, but it's not something you can perform, because men, let me tell you, like I said, a lot of men's hard drives are being upgraded, so they're looking for the fakeness. They can actually recognize fakeness, and that's one of the things that they're catching on to. Yeah, when she does this, when she says this, she's trying to open you up and get to see your soft side so she can use it against you. Oh, men, their hard drives are opening up, baby. So, do you want me to give you your journal prompts now, or do you want me to just leave it on the channel? I can give you your journal prompts now, then we can wrap it up really quick. That's Under the Tuscan Sun, if you want to check that out. And send me a message on either IG or don't send it to my privates. Just leave a message on one of my posts or one of my posts over here on YouTube. Once you watch the movie, let me know what you think. Because Diane Lane's character literally goes through this whole process right here. Everything that we talk, she literally goes through it. Journal prompt: when you look at your actual behavior in relationships, not your intentions, your behavior, what does it say you want right now? Is that the same as what you say you want? Is there a desire you have been keeping quiet because of how the people around you would respond to it? What would happen if you said it out loud? And if you can't get them because I'm going fast, that's okay. You can play the replay and get these back for your journal prompts when you're writing tonight. Who in your social circle is living the life you want? Ooh, that's a good one. And who is living the life you are trying to leave behind? What does that tell you? Next prompt: what does being set apart cost you right now in your actual life? Is it worth it? Next prompt: what is one thing you have been calling quote unquote realistic that is actually just a lowered standard? Like, what would the honest version of that look like? Next prompt: if you imagine the woman who is actually ready for the marriage you want, what are the 3 most important differences between her and you right now? And the last prompt: what would you do differently this week if you genuinely believed that the marriage you want is possible for you? And I'm going to tell you, the marriage is possible for you, ladies. How willing are you to do the things that we talked about? Because look, that's the bottleneck right there. That's the bottleneck. You see how slim that bottleneck is? That bottleneck, you ladies will go through it with ease because you're going to do these 3 things. But the ladies that suffer with these 3 things that we talked about today, they're going to stay at that dating market. And that's going to frustrate them, and they're going to be even more upset and more upset. And the men too. The men have their own things. But that bottleneck right there, the women that do what we just talked about today, they're going to ease right on up there to exclusive and engaged. And if you need additional help, pop up married is for you. Hit the link in the pinned comments, and for those listening on the rebroadcast, the link is in the description box. Don't wait, baby. Don't hesitate. You know what happened right before me, and I'm gonna say this, and I promise I'm done. Right before I met my husband, I want to say maybe 6 to 8 months before I met my husband, I had a really bad breakup. Like bad, as in snot, crying, embarrassing. I mean that kind of bad. Like my best friend was like, Nicole, Lord, girl, get it together. Now you all didn't see that because I was posting on social media. Like none of this was going on behind the closed doors. But I was really, really heartbroken. I had the wedding dress picked out and everything. My last name was gonna go good with, my name was gonna go good with his last name. I'm sorry. I was just disappointed. And I after I kind of like um took a break from just dating, and I just got with God and really did the things that I did and popped up married. I did those things. And I said, you know what? Once I realized what kind of wife I wanted to be and what kind of man would actually be good with me as a wife, I realized we weren't even compatible. So I'm sitting up there snot nose crying over a man that the marriage wouldn't even last in a year. I'm pretty sure of it now. Pretty sure. Absolutely. About 99% sure that marriage wouldn't have worked. 1% sure that one of us would have committed a crime. And the other 99%, it wouldn't have worked. And I'm sitting up there trying to fit a square peg into a round hole because I wanted what I wanted. And then once I realized, wait, I'm doing this all wrong. This isn't meant to last anyway. What am I doing? And once I realized that, and I said, let me step back and work on me. Let me start preparing the way God really wanted me to prepare. Let me say, you know what? I reached a point, instead of detaching, instead of becoming mad at men, instead of joining these spaces where they just hate on men all day. I'm decentering men, but let's talk about men. I didn't get in those spaces because I knew I still wanted to be a wife. And I knew what God has for me is for me, and I'm not going to let the culture talk me out of being a wife. So I said, let me detach, not detach, but let me step back. Not detached because I still want a man. I'm not detaching. Let me step back and get in my space and let me figure out what it is I need to work on, because this shouldn't be happening to me. Like this shouldn't be happening. Like I'm way too grown for this. This should not be happening. And I said, what's going on? What's happening to me? Has Atlanta broke me? What's going on? And I said, no, I'm Nicole Michelle. That city is not going to break me. I came from heartaches to where I am right now, and my love life is still in shambles. Oh, my love life can be better, and we're going to do it. And I did what I'm telling you all to do and pop up married. I actually did that. And a few months later, my husband shows up in my algorithm. Now, he was in my algorithm before I knew who he was. So he knew who I was, and he was already getting data on me. Already gathering data on me before I even knew who he was. That's how God works. That's why you need to be prepared to be a wife, because baby, let me tell you a secret. You don't know who's watching you. Your husband could be watching you right now. And if you're not prepared, baby, that's a husband for somebody else who understands the assignment, because you didn't understand it. You didn't understand it. And so guess what? Moving on. My husband was gathering intel about me before I even knew who he was. That's how God moves. When you get your mind right, get your mind and your heart right, God will do the rest. That's it. And that's in everything, not just romance. That's in everything. In everything I give thanks, because without him, this wouldn't be possible. But ladies, it is possible if you believe. All right. So, ladies, for those of you on the rebroadcast listening to this and you made it this far, 3 hours in, write really quick in the comment section, who's your muse? Who is the woman that inspires you? Who's the woman that got that look, that aura, that thing about her, that walk that you like, that scent? Shout her out in the chat. I want to see. Some of y'all listen and y'all don't leave comments. I get it. But this time, let me know. Let me know who's the character that inspires you. If you don't have a person that you know, who's the character? That's cool too. Till the next time, always keep a lookout. Follow me on social media. I'll let you know when I go live again. I need a break. I need some time. Need to unwind a little bit. You'll see more on the channel. Some recorded content I have coming. I forgot the date, but it'll be in the next week or so. probably the first week of June, you'll see some recorded content. So keep a look on that tab on this channel, and I'll be posting on the posted the post threads, so we can communicate there as well. And you'll know when I go live again, because I have to respond to all of these TikTok videos you all have been sending me. That's what this summer, when we go live, it'll be like an hour long, and we'll just be going through some of the TikToks that you all have been sending me. I pay attention. And so I don't respond right away, but this summer, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go over these videos and TikToks you all sent me, and that's what we're going to do. And then the fall, we're going to go real hard. And then we also have the male psychology video that we're going to do. I'm just trying to get in my head how I want to do it. And so that's what we'll do then. All right, y'all. Have a good summer. Stay pretty, stay beautiful. And if you want to do the work, don't wait until you meet a great guy and then try to bum rush the show and try to get in and try to sponge everything in the Future Wives Club overnight because you're not ready. Don't do that. He'll know that you're cramming. Don't cram for the test. Study for the test, so that when you meet the guy, you're ready. That's what preparation is all about. That's what we do here. And I believe in you. And if you want to get married, I want you to get married. And I will do everything in my power to help that happen. Remember, I love you and Jesus Christ loves you. And until the next time, keep the faith, everybody.